Doing the winter sometimes.
It's an interesting way to start the Predcast. They can hear us. What is up, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of the Predcast. Number, I just looked this up. Holy 37. Oh. Bro, hey, don't you judge me, Efsixx. You leave me alone, bro. But what's up, guys? Welcome. A lot of spicy news to go over. We found out a lot about Lizard Man. We're actually gonna go right into that for a bit. Y'all will 100% still hear me call him Lizard because I'm gonna butcher his name a million times. But before we get deeper into it, we got a lot to talk about here. Let's go ahead and get our introductions going. If we could, in this specific order: Indo, Efsixx, Joey, Bearded, and then myself. Tell people a little bit about yourselves and what you got going on.
Cool. Yo, what's up? My name's Indo. I'm an OG Paragon veteran. Played since Sevarog first dropped, so way back. I'm a new onto the YouTube scene. You can just check out Indo Complex. I make hero guides and gameplay guides, stuff like that. And other than that, I'm just here to talk about Pred. Oh, stream on Twitch and Kick Monday through Friday. So yeah,
there we go. Is that a Zarus mask behind you?
Oh yeah.
I'm done, bro.
Oh,
right, you're gonna be wearing that, right?
Yeah, on stream wearing it.
There you go. All right.
Well, my name's Efsixx. Coming over, I stream on Twitch and on Kick. Make some YouTube content, more informational than anything. Also cast for the PCC that's coming up. If you guys want to see somebody talk and narrate stuff. And then yeah, I'm just a big nerd when it comes to MOBAs, and I like talking about everything that nobody likes to talk about. So that's me.
Hashtag Pred partner when. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey everyone, just Joe Shirley back on the Predcast. I'm just a content creator for YouTube. I do daily gameplay videos where I'm not only talk over what I'm doing and why, but also show up some really fun builds every once in a while. So I'm letting you guys follow me on Twitter. I post pictures of doggos. I comment on some of the stuff going on in the Pred news, but also I post memes occasionally, and I made a pretty fun meme on there based on my 2 uploads for Dekker, ADC, and Support Sparrow. Other than that, yeah, just you can go find me on YouTube and Twitter.
I can only wait for these. What's his name again? Holy shit, Zarus. All right, I can only imagine the Lizard Man support comps that are about to be happening, bro. I'm telling you. All right, go ahead, Bearded.
That's gonna be fun. Anyways. All right, here we go. What's going on, everybody? It's I, the BeardedWolverine, your Michigan Wonder, and excited to bring this episode to you guys. We got Indo here, but I'm sorry we had to push this episode just so I could be in. I literally just got home. I literally walked to the door, photo of the computer, and here I am. I was away out of town for work, so thanks for waiting a day later for this one, but next week's going to be on schedule, and we got Smokey for that one, so make sure you stop by for that one as well. SergantSmokie's going to be here, but other than that, because I'm out of town, I've been lacking on my YouTube short uploads, but I'll get back on top of that as well. But you normally see me streaming here live on Kick, and we'll keep going with that. Windu.
Spicy. And what's up, guys? I'm Windu, also known as Windu the Mace. I mainly do Predecessor content as far as the gaming side goes, a little bit of Star Wars here and there. But yeah, I'm also a carry main, and I am not liking the fact that there's a lizard that can jump on me whenever he wants to and cage me in. So that's gonna be, I'm gonna have to blink every time I see a lizard, swear. But this is the Predcast, guys. So essentially, if you don't know what the Predcast is, this is a weekly podcast where we go over everything Predecessor related, latest news, newest characters, balance patches, etc. In this case, this week we got a lot to talk about as far as the new hero, aka the Lizard Man, Zarus. I think that's how you pronounce it. So we're gonna hear about this quite a bit. I need Omeda to give me an official enunciation for that. But yeah, I'll be real with you guys. Before I throw my thoughts in there, same order that we introduce ourselves. I want to hear like initial thoughts. What do you think when you just saw this? Like expectations, everything.
It goes for me. Dude, so hyped. I just love the fluidity of the animations and his skins, the way they're representing it with the new red skin. I remember, was it last Predcast? What's his name? The dev. Sorry, I'm blanking on his name. Shreds. Yeah, Shreds was talking about how he's really going to showcase kind of what they can do with skins and stuff like that. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, it's very clean and not too shiny and over the top, but like it just looks really polished in my opinion. I mean, overall, all of it. So dope.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Honestly, I was watching it while I was streaming and I just was in shock and awe the entire time. I was like, there's no way this guy is so clean. His abilities look perfectly like just fine-tuned. And I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be my new main for like the next probably 2 months because he has everything you need in a kit, a dash, a long distance engage. You could literally just put somebody because the walls on his ult look so tall that you can't even jump over it. And it looks like you're actually just trapped. So like now these characters like Greystone and like Rampage, you're like, no, you're not going anywhere. Not this time, bud. I'm not Dekker. We're going to fight this out in the ring. Let's get at it. So I'm excited to see him, especially his kit and how he kind of just flows into the meta. I think he's definitely going to be really strong, and I can't wait to see what his skin actually looks like in game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like really pumped for like this kid because finally I have a kid where you can no longer run from me. I can actually 1v1 anyone with his ultimate. So I'm loving it as an offlane. Because imagine like the Shimmy is like the most obnoxious offlane to go against because she's super safe. But now you jump on her and she just has to fight you, right? So I think this brings a really cool dynamic to the offlane. Having the character that specifically locks you into 1v1, almost like a Revenant ADC in the sense that you can 1v1 anyone that's a Revenant ADC, but now it's kind of like you kind of stick that onto it offlane. It still exists in the world, but now you actually stuck. You can't blink away. I think you can maybe blink away, but either way, you're just stuck in that cage with him, and I just love that aspect. But I was also really happy too with his design because in my video I kind of put out a little bit ago, I was kind of like theorizing that based on kind of like the thematics they were trying to tease about him, that he sort of was going to be that kind of woman-esque like Greek kind of fighter, costume fighter, and I'm just really love his design. Like I saw him and I'm like, dude, that guy's freaking Kratos from God of War, and we know Kratos is one of those badass single player heroes. Like it's just so cool to see like so much resemblance. So I'm just in love with his kit and also his looks.
Oh, sorry, that's me. I realized that there was no post about this in any Discord, like announcing that the show is live. Thanks to Intar pointing it out to me. So I was like, I started doing that in the process.
Gotcha. I'll retweet it real quick.
Talking about, yep. I haven't sent it out yet. I'm typing it up as we were talking. Then I realized it was my turn to speak. Zarus, I'm so stoked about it, especially now that I'm an offlane main. Like I cannot wait to play this guy. I was worried he was going to be another like Fang Mao style that's like you have to get in and out and try not to die. Be kind of like more like a squishy style, but this guy definitely seems like he's more like that, not necessarily a tank, but like a warrior brawler that's going to be able to go in. He's got the healing in his kit with his passive when he's getting out of combat. He gets to heal off of that, like that. Somebody pointed in one of the Discords like that with the war boots, like boosting that, a little more extra health coming off of that. That's gonna be nice. I'm excited to see what I can and can't do with this guy. I can't wait to really get into the battlefields and especially the 1v1 versus Windu. That's gonna be fun when we do our little customs. When we do our customs, so for the hero release, I'm excited. It's gonna be a blast.
Bro, maybe we can get an Efsixx team and a Joey team in there as well, instead of just being you and me. I don't know.
You guys don't want the smoke. You don't want the smoke. I'm telling you.
Hey, man. Hey, you can bring the smoke, but I'm just saying, you show up with 2 followers, you're getting some of ours. That's all I'm saying, bro. Be ready for that. Oh, but no, I'll be honest with you. I was also impressed. Now, because I sat there and I looked at the video, right, and I'm like, oh, okay, hold on. Homie's got a shield that can absorb hits while simultaneously stun somebody with that same shield. He's got a dash, so homie's already Steel 2.0 in my eyes, right?
Yeah.
But then on top of that, he's got a poke, and he's got the ult that engages. They literally just made a Steel with a poke, bro. Like, in my eyes. Yeah, I'm like, yo, like, this dude's gonna be nuts. Now, granted, I also did pay very close attention to his video, and when you see him, like, nuking people and shit, he is, like, 18-0 and shit like that. So granted, with a grain of salt, like he's gonna have that potential, but you might see one or two Zarus in the lane get kind of clappy, like, why isn't damage Zarus working? What's happening? But no, I'll be honest with you. I think the coolest part about it was the color that they chose for his kit. I didn't expect yellow, like, and I guess we should have seen it coming, right? With the whole Ascended and everything was yellow themed throughout. But I was pleasantly surprised. And then when I saw on the red skin, everything's red instead. I'm like, bro. I was like, fuck, I already don't got platinum. Now I gotta go get some more? Like, oh, shit.
Begging your viewers, got any spare change?
Nah, bro. I got forced into buying that shit. Like,
But one thing about him though, I know Pinto just said like more lock-on ults, but I think his lock-on ult's actually different from a lot of the other lock-on characters, because I think you have to actually pick the right hero to lock onto. Like, yes, in a 1v1 and like a 1v2, like maybe if they're closely engaged, like, okay, that's okay, a lock on, fine. But like in a big team fight, if you don't lock on to the right person and ult that person, I don't think your cage is actually going to be as efficient as it should be, as if like other lock on abilities like more aggressive, like free.
bro, his ult is a lock on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the way they described it.
It's like a
Yeah, like you
dash
can see
onto
like
the
you can
target.
see the indicator on it.
So you're like flying onto that and
So
smash.
that's actually, because I was thinking the positioning of that cage is going to be so clutch, but if it's lock on, that almost throws a wrench into the positioning of the cage. Because I almost would rather ult right in front of them and then be like, okay, now you're stuck in here with me outside of your tower. But if I ult onto them at the edge of the tower, now they're kind of safe because they can walk into the tower. So you got to be really, really picky about engagements. Oh, shit.
That's why I think it brings a little bit more of a different aspect. But go ahead, Joey.
I was gonna say, I think the main reason why it's also lock on though, because I think they want to make it like you use it to actually fight. So imagine it's no hero locking, you just create the cage wherever you want to roll. Like imagine like you running away, you could probably just throw the cage down and just keep running, right? That's not the sandwich that's supposed to send to godhood, right? That's just sandwich just cowering and running away, right? So I think there's a purpose behind the alt locker, and that is just initiate and fight, not to try to cheese someone and run away with it, right? So I think that's the reason behind it.
Right.
So I literally watched this on the plane because I was getting ready to take off when this was posted. So when I saw it, I guess I thought the cage was a completely different ability. I thought you would jump on, and so which one is the ult? The dagger throw or the spear throw or the cage?
No, the cage. When you leap and then a cage, like the little let's fight zone. I guess we could call it a Coliseum, right? I think.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they did call it, I believe, at least in the video. It creates a Coliseum. So all right. So then the spear throw is what, his third ability then, or something like that? Like
right click, I think. Ultimate.
And that's not a lock on, right? Or is it a lock on? Skill shot. Okay.
Skill shot.
Yeah.
So
That looks
I mean,
fun.
I guess I don't know. I'm okay with the ult being a lock on then, especially if the spear throws a skill shot.
The thing though is, does the spear go through minions? That's what I really want to figure out. Like if you're in lane, that would be dope, because that makes him 10 times better if his spear goes through minions, right? Kind of like a TwinBlast cube. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gives him some safety in that lane. Like maybe you can't walk the way, but you really want to get that juicy cannon, you can just chuck your spear and try to get from the distance, right? So great. There's a lot of versatility in his kits from just his abilities alone. So just very, very kind of cool. Like how like there's so many different stuff you can do with it.
You know what's wild, bro? I 100% didn't even think about the fact that homie might have a tail. Swear. I saw the video. I was like, oh, you know, I saw the video. I was like, okay, you know what? That does make fucking sense. He's like a lizard dragon. Okay.
Lizards have you seen?
Well, every lizard I see has his tail missing because a cat got it or some bullshit, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
My goodness.
Yeah, I just didn't think about it.
Alligators down there.
I mean, fair.
A lot.
No. Ask Joe Exotic.
Cats, you
What
the hell?
Oh, ask Joe Exotic and Carol Baskins. But yeah, go ahead.
There's one thing about that spear which I was kind of confused about. I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but it said if you recast it
Yes.
while throwing it, you stab or something. But I didn't see that in the video.
Yeah.
So I was confused on like how that actually works, that mechanic.
Great.
I mean,
Great point, because his basic attack is also a thrust. So I don't know if that was it. I did notice that he would cast his spear before the timer ran out. He would click it and throw it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure. I caught onto that too. I'm thinking
The cooldown, if you did it early, something about that. It would like have the cooldown or reduce
like
the
if you
cooldown.
land it.
Cooldown gets reduced. I mean, does it get if you wait longer? Does it do more damage?
That's what I was thinking. Just like a sparrow snipe, maybe.
I think
I
the way
mean-
they were phrasing it is, you guys know Pantheon by any chance from League of Legends?
yeah.
Well, so
League of Legends.
My buddy linked that. I showed him the video, and he's a league player. He linked
Yeah, I
that.
think the way they were phrasing it is like if you hold the spear, you can like throw it, but if you do a quick ability press, you stab with it. Just like the Pantheon like ability, like the Q ability from League. So you press the Q really quick, you just do a thrust. If you hold the Q, you can start to throw it. So that's kind of like where a lot of people are starting to compare Lizard, was how it has that same mechanic, I think, as Pantheon Q.
But what
I mean,
Indo's
also,
saying
like,
is in the
the-
video they said if you recast it, then you get your cooldown is like halved or whatever. Like you get.
Oh, so you know what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you.
I just found it in the video. I'm gonna pull it full screen here on the on Predcast so you guys can kind of see it a little bit closer, and I'll slow it down as well. But right here, you're gonna see that he's within melee range. He pulls it up. You see the little circle targeting, and then he just clicks it super quick, and he immediately just does like another jab, which in my eyes it looks very similar to the basic attack. Like that's why I didn't notice it.
It's extended.
It has a different animation.
Oh, it's color too. Huh?
Okay, yeah.
That's the yellow color.
I didn't pick that up
Might
the
just
first
be a longer
time.
range. I think it's just a longer range because you can see him like his regular basic is kind of like him, like kind of just go like
Oh, yeah?
halfway.
Yeah,
But
he
then,
pokes
like-
he lunges.
Yeah, the other one he just kind of lunges completely further, like full length of his arm.
Oh, you
So I
want to
think
show
it's
that
just-
again real quick? Because I think
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
last basic attack, he actually thrusts his shield out and then expanded on that second basic attack string.
Wait, what? Here, I'll pause it. I'll slow it down again.
Yeah, slow it down and watch till the very end of the clip. But yeah, I just can play it.
Yeah, so it's interesting because it has to be like an instant double tap.
Basic and this.
Okay,
is
he
the
whiffs,
ultimate.
he whiffs. Bro, is that another
Look at
basic
that, like
attack?
Wait, when they just missed him, man? Oh.
No, I'm looking at it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at it on screen.
I know you guys are a little bit delayed for me. Sorry. But so when he extends his shield forward, is that just another basic attack animation, or did that actually have to do with his shield?
I think he has a shield smack in his basic attack.
Like his
Animation.
chain. Yeah.
Yeah, because
So yeah, if you
I'm looking at
like,
cooldowns.
multiple- if you just like if you hold down left mouse button, you probably have a combo. It's not just continuous spear jab.
Yep.
You know, it's probably like a spear jab. You know, hit with the shield, the spear jab. You know.
So if
Could you
look
imagine
at
if you
it,
went in and like it's like Rampage? If you hold down, if you just like only tap left click, he only swings with his one arm. But
Yep.
if you like hold it, he'll hit like Rampage will bring in. He'll actually swing in with his left arm once in a while too. It's not just the one. Something similar.
Really?
To that, I'm guessing.
Because you see that
So-
pattern for
Yeah.
like other.
He was blind as hell, I guess.
Alternate between the right arm and left arm for attacking. So similarly, Zarus is hitting with the right arm with the spear, and the left arm is a shield. So just kind of like following that pattern, what they do with melee heroes.
so if you look at it, his shield actually extends when he goes into his basic attack chain like that.
Yeah,
So
it's
like
that.
it like explodes when he goes in for that.
Yeah, it's the same animation when they show the red skin. He does a little thing and his shield
Yeah.
gets bigger and it starts to glow. That's what happens there. When he pushes his hands out, his shield expands and it kind of becomes like a some decapitation situation.
Badass.
I gotta
shield
say, I like the
animation,
animation.
It's looks sick when you activate and it just extends out. Dude, that's sick, dude. It's like
Yeah,
a BB.
right here. This is what I'm talking about. So he'll swipe down, and his shield's gonna get bigger.
Dude, that skin just makes me want to throw about 10,000 platinum
Bro.
at it for no
All right.
reason.
You do you want to take any bet? Bro, you want to take any bets on how much that skin will cost with the custom animations? Because they're gonna be right.
$20 at least.
It could be $100 and I will still buy it.
All right, hey, Omeda, y'all did not just hear that. We're gonna strike that from the record.
Saying that shit.
Let's
man.
That's
We're gonna
me.
kick Efsixx off the show because he's gonna get the prices just skyrocketed.
my dude is the reason for inflation. Let's get him out, please.
That's right.
I'm probably the reason because I complain and then I still buy it anyway. So I'm probably the guy
Yeah, and-
skewing like their entire stats for it.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm on the same boat as you because I 100% complain about the prices, but I'm like, I gotta have the skin. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like,
Skins that change the actual color of animations always get me. Like same thing with Overwatch with the new like legendary skins or whatever, where it actually changes the ability colors and all that stuff. It's so good.
I just
Well,
watched it there. He ulted Fang Mao, I think it was.
I'll go back to
Fang Mao
it.
wasn't directly right where he was at when he ulted. How big is the AoE for his ult, like for the damage?
I think it
I mean,
looks
that's-
There, but he didn't land right on top of him. I mean, he's like there, but
Yeah,
he's not there.
but you know what that looked like?
Is that?
You remember on Fault that they had Boris and he would target, and even though it might have not 100% landed right on top of the person, it would still, since he already got the targeting in, he just lands next to them and does the damage. Maybe it's along those lines.
It looks like the damage was just to Feng Mao. Like it wasn't like anything because the minions didn't even get damaged either. So it's just like a one person lock on damage.
Yeah, I wonder if they make it that way so that you could counterplay with the dash at the right time. I wonder, to avoid at least the damage, but you still be on the fence.
Yeah, because like, so let's say you ult to Fame Mao and he uses on B. Like, would the ult just keep following after on B, or would it go to the last spot Fame Mao was
That's
in?
a great question. I don't know. I hope that Feng Mao would have the opportunity to blink away because the targeting already started, and it's like, all right, you whiffed your ult, bro. What can I tell you? Like it's a lock on, but it's avoidable maybe. Then again, that would feel kind of bad. I don't know if they want to do that for a character.
The ability that just showed, I'm sorry, but I have to say this because this is as me as a ranged offlaner, or me as an offlaner, and I can't stand ranged offlane. Like his ability to be able to sit there and he's got that timer for a shield. He could put a shield up and just block the next. Like it's not a full block. You're still taking
reduced damage.
Like you're taking reduced damage. Like to go up against a ranged offlaner, like go ahead. Thanks, Joey, for putting it out there so that now I can like stop somebody to do it. I know you put your TwinBlast offlane video.
Offlane TwinBlast.
I think you would like Zarus against ranged offlanes because, like I said, the ultimate force is 1v1, and AC's offlane is all about kiting away. So you just get in the face and they can't get out, right?
That's true. Maybe he's the answer.
The ADC offlane no more.
Speaking of range offlane, Bader in chat, Bader Dragon says another character that Bearded will call ranged because of one ability. All right, and he's referring to Shinbi, and Shinbi doesn't lose any mana. Then she uses her wolf that's on like a 2-second cooldown, so she can just spam the wolf from her range and it clears the minion wave, so she's able to clear farm freely. She's able to do a bunch of things freely. So yes, I do consider her a range offlane because it's cheap as all could be. But I doubt his spear throw is going to be, it's a 6-second cooldown there, but that's max level.
Pretty short.
Yeah, that's max level.
That is
that's
max
not
level.
Early game.
That's true.
Max level.
That could be like 12 seconds early game or something like that.
Right? You're not doing it as fast as Shinbi's freaking wolf.
That mana consumption is low though.
30?
That should say 30.
How much is Shinbi? What
30?
much is Shinbi wolf?
30.
All right, so it's about the same one, but time-wise, what's max Shinbi for her wolves?
Like 3 seconds.
Exactly. Get me out of here, Bader. Don't be talking shit.
All I'm saying is I can't wait to hit somebody with a spear at the max range and just have them have a bad day.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be great. What's gonna be easier, hitting a Zarus spear or a Richter hook?
The spear.
Probably the spear.
I think.
That hook still has the wind up and the animation. The spear's a lot faster.
the delay.
We're watching it in slow motion and it's still faster than a Richter hook, I'm pretty sure.
But like, if you're just holding the S key and you're just running away and he hits you with that spear and you just like, I just got pierced, I just feel a little bit more disrespected.
How far is that range for that lock on alt? Like, I felt like Feng Mao was quite a distance on that in the
Looks
solo
far.
lane. And he closed the distance on that. Like, that's crazy.
I'm trying to find it. Okay, there we go.
It might be gray. Maybe it was gray. I don't know. I thought it was Feng Mao, but it might have been gray still right there in the solo lane.
You talking about for the spear?
No, the ultimate. In the alt, he did an ultimate, like right here. This is it.
Anyway, it'll play. It'll loop. We'll find it.
Yeah. So the distance he gets on that's pretty crazy. So in that situation with it being locked on, like I think that I might a little side more with what Pinzo's saying, because that is pretty crazy on the distance that you're able to get on that.
I mean, Chimera could chase down pretty much everybody with a lock on automatically. I mean, it's essentially, but his is on a longer cooldown. So like,
right here,
it's not like he's using that all the time.
Not that one.
I did notice that he kills Mori and the spear kept going. So there's got to be some sort of pen, some sort of pass through built into there. Because if not, it would have just disappeared when he killed the Mori.
Oh no, that's the spear again. Shit, where's it at? I know it's coming up. I feel like we've been watching the same thing like the next 80 times. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, maybe. Wary in the chat is saying, imagine if the spear can do crit damage. Okay, so he blinked away and he did auto lock on. Wait a minute. He didn't dash forward or nothing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Now, granted, that Feng Mao did go vertically, like diagonal, instead of just straight away. So he did cut his distance by a little bit, but that is long as shit.
Maybe that was max distance, but that is still far.
That's a distance. Like, I don't even think Chimera's making that leap, guys.
No, he's not. But Lord, that animation
kind of looks like
so
Chimera
sick.
leap still. Like, I feel like Chimera can still walk onto that.
It might be. It's close. It might be a little bit longer than that. It's pretty.
Chat
close.
Clorox is saying Chimera is definitely making that same leap. I mean, so that's fair. If somebody blinks away, Chimera literally, if you lock onto them immediately, you can catch them if you don't let them walk away.
It should be the leap on that, like from that distance.
If you actually pause it to where he jumps before, he actually is in the range for it. It's actually not that far because I just looked at it again. It's really not that far. Like right there.
Oh, yeah, because of the vertical leap.
Yeah, it's literally it's Kai's essential leap, but on a longer cooldown.
Changed my mind. This was a controller player because Kai would have definitely, like a PC player would have looked up and locked on midair. Be like, nah, bruh. Homie waited until he landed. He's like, nah, I'm not hitting up on that joystick. What are you talking about, bro? He's gonna land right here.
Yeah, because the UI is not up, it looks like. I think he just leaps.
Yeah, on the red skin.
Yeah.
It looks like you should be able to flash if he's midair. Like if he's traveling.
You imagine blink in the air and then lock onto somebody, land on top of them?
Oh, man. The animation already looks sick. I'm trying to see what it looks like. Mid-air dash.
I feel like, and that ulti, I feel like as offlane coming in for a late rotation and just countering a push to a tower is just going to be so sick. You can literally punish any overextension.
I just realized it's a directional dash, bro. Homie just did it diagonally while looking in a different direction.
That Sevrog is so salty right there.
Yeah, because he got caged.
Dash right when he got ulted, and he like dashed right at the edge of the Coliseum. Like he's like,
that's why me. You can't run away. I'm gonna fight you 1v1. That's why I love this hero, dude.
The fact that you could jump and throw your axe or your spear though is kind of cool.
That's nuts. That's a trick shot all day.
Hey, look at the rampage. He can't even jump out of that thing. He knows it.
See, I don't know. I think somebody like Rampage might be able to jump out, especially while they're ulted.
Here's the question.
Okay.
Galaxy Greaves. Can you get over it with Galaxy Greaves? I think.
Sure.
I think so.
Probably.
I think so. Yeah.
Galaxy Greaves sends you flying, bro. Probably.
Especially as Dekker, you just do the double jump. You're out of there.
Oh, I can't wait.
How do you guys feel about the fact that they're recommending Mutilator? You think that's a good pick based off what we see? Like, I looked at it, I was like, I don't know if that's what I would have gone, right? Like Draconum start on him with that passive might be nuts, but yeah, go ahead, Efsixx.
No, yeah. So like you already mentioned it, Draconum's already there, and the fact that his passive already gives him more damage, like there's no reason to build Mutilator because you're trying to just be there and annoy everybody with like your stun, your poke, and your big ulti. Like I think being a lot tankier would be more beneficial to him than going into Mutilator, but I guess we would have to like wait and see, really.
Yeah, I guess it depends on his scaling because I could totally see his spear.
Pun intended.
Just be okay. I see what you did there. I can't with him. Holy shit! Because I could totally see a spear just be like heavy scaling on power, almost wanting to incentivize people to kind of just keep sniping.
Well, Nabori did say in the video, I can't remember exactly what it was. There's something about the interaction of the passive of Mutilator and his ability and how
to like double proc.
Something like that.
Same thing like why Melee is always kind of first pick on Crunch, because pretty much Crunch's whole kit would always like double proc Melee because of his abilities being able to like do that. So kind of sounds like it's the same interaction where if he does a spear, kind of hit it, procs it twice, something like with Crunch abilities. So kind of like I think that's sort of like the logic behind it, that he sort of like ability kind of focused like Crunch in a sense. So Mutilator is usually good for this kind of heroes. Like Melee is not the same for Grux because Grux is more about basic attacks than abilities. So whereas Sarah seems like they're saying he's more ability focused. So maybe that's the logic behind Mutilator on that. But I mean, the Army Vamp is always nice for the laning phase, like just getting that sustaining along with that passive.
That is true.
Bro, two of his abilities are 30 and 40 mana. Granted, they probably got a little bit lower from levels. Let me go back to towards the beginning here. But that's low mana, bruh. That's super low mana. That's gonna be spam city.
And his shield bash is a stun.
Yes.
His shield bash is a stun, 80 mana, and I just saw it at level 1, 20-second cooldown.
That's pretty. How much is steals? Anyone know?
Less than 20 seconds for the stun.
Yeah, I feel like I get
way less than 20 seconds. But that's interesting because so think of it like this: your deflect to go to use against a carry, 20 seconds level 1. That could be useful, but 20 seconds is a lot of fucking time when you're getting poked, bro.
You're gonna have to pick and choose when you go against that carry. Like you have to wait in time for it. But I mean, once you go into mid game, it should be at a good cooldown. Just run at them, especially when you have your ult. I mean, what are you gonna do? Run away? Nope.
Blink. Pinzo said steal a stun is 12 and it goes down to 8 without cooldown.
Without cooldown. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Another question is: will his shield prevent stacking from characters like Kira? Probably not, right? Because it's not fully blocking it. It's like,
oh shit, that's a fair point. Like, will it count as somebody getting a stack because it technically didn't make contact with the hero? I see where you're coming from.
I think he's still taking damage. You see when they were showing his shield thing, like his body like flickered red. It means that he took damage from it, right? So that means that I figure anything with stacking components like Kira's passive should work on him normally, even when we had the shield out. It means he's taking less damage.
Reduced.
Yeah.
Bro, you know what I noticed? And this might have to do with the passive, and maybe I'm just colorblind as hell. I noticed that his spear is glowing yellow every once in a while. Y'all see that shit? He's just running around and it's glowing.
I know that too. Like, what was it?
Yeah.
When he's out of combat, it's green, but once he starts attacking someone, it starts to glow yellow. And I think that's just indicator of the passive.
Like with a gladiator, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think that's when you activate his spear and he stabs. I think it does the yellow. At least it's
pretty much everything on him is yellow, except when he regens. Because when he gains those stacks and then he basically leaves combat, he's regenning. Which again, with Draconum, that shit would be nuts. If you got the healing doubled basically at that point. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That might let you not go sustain early at first item or two and just kind of try to play around that maybe.
Yeah.
No, Dracon is definitely going to be great on him. I mean, the fact that you just get double power based off his passive. And I do like the fact that they mentioned like Nair inside of his like biography, and then obviously Nair boots is probably the best thing on this guy, crest wise, and I think that was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, they definitely had that shit planned.
Yeah, they definitely did, because I knew he was gonna have some type of regen just from that, but I didn't know it was gonna be his passive, which is I think is gonna be broken, especially if you just have Raiment or like just increase healing from like Void Helm.
Yeah, I was literally about to say, I'm thinking Mutilator, Draconum, Void Helm, Nair boots. Like, it's gonna be nasty.
Real quick,
More sense now what Joey said about Crunch, him and Crunch being the same.
I was gonna say Joey has to leave here at 8:30. I'd love to hit that lore segment that he wanted to talk about real quick.
Yeah, so I think the one really cool takeaway too is like the first 10 seconds. If you guys want to watch the first 10 seconds when the boy is talking about Zarus, and essentially he was saying like he's the kind of like someone that's going to make the gods feel, and that he's going to ascend to godlyhood. And I think before going to the season, when we saw the World to Ascension, I think some people took it as a more metaphorical kind of thing, the same where like someone that's gonna like rise to fame or rise to glory, right? Not like more like a status kind of thing, not like an actual physical transformation, right? So like when they kind of did that whole like intro lore drop on him, and so like his lore backstory, I think he's literally trying to become like a godly kind of hood character. And I thought that was really cool, because I don't know if you guys remember some Paragon lore, but Sevlog has some lore that ties into that. There's kind of like a quote that I want to read real quick.
Yep.
So like one extra look for Sevlog, he says, a former godlike Ashur, Sevlog was cast out of Goa thousands of years ago and no longer remember who he used to be. Now he's gathering a team of chosen souls to replace that Ashurite pantheon and usher in the apocalypse. And so like for like the longest time, like Paragon never have a fully fleshed out lore, but always have tidbits here and there. And one of the tidbits is Sevlog is sort of like a fallen god. Like he used to be some kind of Ashurite god, and then he was kicked out and pretty much fallen from grace, right? So you got like Sevlog that kind of fallen from grace and trying to like usher in a new kind of pantheon. You got now Zarus that's trying to rise to godlyhood, right? So that's like an actual physical transformation he's trying to do. But so like the whole like backstory like lore thing, I thought was really cool, because this means that somewhere in the Predecessor universe there's an actual pantheon of gods, pretty much. I don't know if that's going to be the Ashurite pantheon. It's kind of like the Asian alien species, but imagine like a original hero from a series of being like one of these gods, right? And I don't know, when I kind of saw that lore drop right there, to me that's just like really, really cool implications right there of some future heroes we might see.
That explains why he couldn't dash away.
Now more than anything.
And that's why he couldn't dash away, bro. That's his kryptonite. They're mortal enemies. Bro, honestly, if they were tying it in like that, that would actually be super dope. Because this character specifically feels very heavy, like on the lore side. I don't know if you guys feel like Kira might have been a little bit on the light side of lore.
Yeah, I think she was on the latest, because she didn't got the backstory like Zarus did, other than she's related to Countess and like what she's kind of doing, right?
I definitely think there's more to it on Kira. I feel like they're like, okay, how can we ease the community into our original hero? And I think they're kind of like, okay, now we can like kind of just like push a little bit more, and that's when Zarus is coming in, and they're like, okay, we're gonna hit the lore hard a little bit harder.
Yeah, I know. I figure Kira has a lot more backstory to it, just not ready to review that, right? So, but they're ready to review this big kind of lore drop on Zarus, and like I said, there's some really cool lore implications right there that gets me really excited about what kind of future characters or what kind of other lore pieces we may get.
I feel like they used Kira in replacement of, if I'm not mistaken, Terra from the original game. Kind of wasn't it Terra that was like the counter to Countess?
Well, like, I think because like Countess and Paragon lore is just known to be a huge menace. Like everyone hates her pretty much. So you got a lot of people trying to kill her essentially. So it's not just Terra, a lot of people trying to kill her, and one of them also includes Kira. So it just goes to show how terrifying Countess is. So that's just kind of like the whole own lore world right there centered around Countess. So I don't think Kyo is replacing Tail. I think they may even like buddy up. Who knows? Because the boys
I
have
think it's
same goals.
I think it matches the lore better because like Vampire Huntress versus, it just, I don't know. I think it matches well.
Or you know what I just realized? That ultimate honestly isn't that big of a radius. Like it's not that big. That to me almost feels like a carry's full basic attack range. Like if a carry's on one side of the circle, he can shoot to the other side of the circle, and that's it. That's what it feels like.
I feel like it's perfectly big enough to lock down a specific hero, which it sounds like it's designed to do, is to lock down somebody and force them to fight you. If it was any bigger, I'd be like, that's kind of OP, but I think the size is pretty good.
Is it the same as the old Dekker ult?
That's what I was
Kind of
thinking.
looks like it to me. Maybe a little smaller.
I do like it better than the old Dekker ult, especially the one that used to electrocute you when you touched it. Fuck that shit.
Oh, that was toxic, bro.
Fuck that shit. You know how many orb primes were taken because a Dekker ult dropped in a Dekker wall got dropped on it?
Oh,
hell no.
You throw the gadget all on top of it too. Oof.
It was nuts. But the red skin just came back on the screen. That shit looks dope. It really does give like God of War vibes, like kind of like Ares vibes to it a little bit. Like yeah.
Platinum.
That's why I love with this
color.
character. It's just that really iconic shoulder pad armor and waist kind of cloth armor. It's just a really kind of cool looking armor choice for like those Roman Greek fighters. And I mean, Kratos walked that really good, and Sarah seems like he's walking that pretty good as well. So I'm just really happy with that design.
And his overall like clothing is what, like you're mentioning, it really does give like gladiator vibes. I think they did nail that part. Like the whole like, hey, I got a little bit of armor, but I gotta keep my agility sort of vibe. Like, bro, that shit, I like it. I think as a whole, this character is good. I do find it interesting that they chose him to be gray as his base skin.
I mean, most reptiles,
It's got some
their
green
color
to it.
formation is like grayish, greenish, kind of like just dull. And then, so I don't mind it because it kind of makes it a little bit more realistic. You're living in Florida. There's not really green lizards unless it's like an iguana, right? It's more like a gray color.
I was totally hoping for an iguana.
Green.
Most camouflage.
I also
Yeah,
like
most-
the cut aside in miniature.
I was gonna say most lizards are gray. Just so people want to know, like they're gray.
Yeah.
Bro, I think he gets a passive off of killing somebody. So I'm gonna put it full screen here so you guys can kind of see it. I was just watching. Whenever he gets a kill on the Morgesh, his gauntlets glow red the moment he gets a kill, and then they stay red while he's fighting, even though he's casting other abilities. Is that augmentation?
Yeah.
Augmentation makes your arms glow red?
Yeah, that's Spellblade passive.
Yeah.
Have I never noticed? What the fuck?
Do you even
Okay.
play
Too much
Windu?
carry, man. You gotta play
Yeah,
offlane, Windu.
Apparently not, bro. Hey man, you'll only catch me on the offlane whenever we do our customs. Straight up. I end up on the offlane if I got a really bad draft pick. Like well, guess I'm out here. Okay, never mind. That shit just looks cool.
Man. He looks like a new player basic D&D fighter. I don't see the issue with that.
Yeah, I don't. I think a lot of people want this character to be just like off the wall, off the top. And he doesn't need to be. Like the simplicity of it makes him a good hero, if that makes sense. You don't need a hero to do a bunch of stuff. You just need a hero to do what he's designed to do perfectly.
Yeah.
Essentially is the goal.
You can
Right.
say Kira's design was simple, but it looks clean and very fitting for the roster, right? And same thing
Right.
with Lizard Flash. I keep calling him Lizard, but his design is simple but very freaking cool. Like you don't have to go over the top with it. It matters like just the cleanness look of it, and if it actually fits within the Predecessor roster.
Yeah.
I do think that they nailed it on the head by giving us that red skin because it gives a little bit more flair, both armor wise and color wise. It's not just a recolor.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want flair, the skin is there. So I get that. Just don't charge me like $50, please, for the love of God. But I get it. I want the skin. I'll throw like a like a $16.99 price tag out there, bro. 1,800. Okay, I'm okay with 1,800. That's not a bad
my
one.
guess is it's gonna be 1,800 platinum is my guess.
I see it being like 2,500.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I see it being 2,500 for that skin.
That would be the first skin that it would have that high, wasn't it? Like, there's no other skin. Like the highest they have right now is 16, right?
That's a fair point, but
VFX.
there's also no other skins at this caliber, you know?
Yep.
Right.
The color change is gonna be pricey.
Somebody had to make the color change.
And they definitely on purpose didn't show the red Coliseum, bro. That shit's gonna look dope as fuck when you're in a match.
I think it was shown in the video, just only once.
What? Okay.
Wasn't he
I'll
red
replay.
when I pointed out the fact that he dove so far and caught the?
Yeah.
Oh, he was. Yep.
Oh yeah, you just missed it.
Yep. That was it.
Yeah.
He was red right there. I'm just blind as hell. He just walks right through it. Bro, I like the. Can this be called like a humanoid character still? Technically.
Yeah.
I mean,
right?
I can say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that they're experimenting a little bit more.
Rewind that real quick. Sorry. I want to see that Sevarog, hit him out to Sevarog again, because I want to see if there's any damage done to Sevarog while he's not actually in the AoE. I want to see how big the AoE is for this.
I'm gonna put it slow motion on screen. But well, no, one thing here worth mentioning on that Sevarog, if he would have dashed a split second sooner, he might have actually got out. Because he didn't dash until the wall started coming out, is what it looked like. Like the ult was already started. He tried rooting and then tries dashing away. So he wasn't going to get out. But if he would have dashed.
He missed. He didn't damage himself there, did he?
I thought I did see some a red flicker for damage. I don't know. I know he's at a distance.
Yeah.
He's
Sorry.
at a distance.
It was small. I didn't even realize it. I switched it. You think Howie's ult could escape? I think so. Howie's ult gets pretty high up there, bro.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, it goes really high.
But yeah, he tries to root him, like catch him while he's leaping, and then dashes forward.
Damage.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
And he actually is in range when he almost, the spear could pretty much grab the cloak when he does do damage. So he actually is within range there. All right.
I think
Yeah,
the
bro.
blink interaction might be different. I think you might be able to make him miss with blink.
I hope so.
Yeah, because Blink is like new instant, like you teleport, right? So I would
Yeah.
imagine you can just go out radius if you do it fast enough. Question is, does it go through the wall? Like, let's say you're stuck in the pits. Like, can you blink through the wall, or you have to like blink over it?
Spear right to the head.
Fair. I think
mean,
I think as long as you got line of sight, you can blink there. You know what I mean?
Is that how Dekker cage works?
Yeah, like you can blink
the
through
cage,
it.
or you have to blink over it.
Yeah, it'll let you blink through it on Dekker.
Okay. This is something I should know, but I haven't actually thought about it to now. So I think I always kind of like blink over the wall when I personally have to get out of the Dekker cage.
Medkit saying, "Is he a humanoid though?" I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like he's bipedal, right? So he's walking on two legs. Homie, literally, that in my eyes, I say humanoid because that's a human with a dragon head and a tail, right? And scaly.
Grux is a humanoid, but like.
But Grux is a little bit different
It's cool.
shape, you know? Like Rampage, he's a little bit of a different shape.
Yeah.
I'd definitely say he's a little bit more human than some of the other variants we have. But I like the fact that they're trying it, that they're going down that route, right? Experimenting with it. I think if they see a lot of positive feedback, we might get more crazy looking heroes. And who knows, might get even crazier as it goes. But G brings up a good point. We haven't even talked about it. So is this...
Real quick, I do have to head out now.
Yes, go ahead and do your outro, Joey.
Oh yeah, sorry guys. So I'm leaving tonight because I do actually have a swim I have to go to because I'm actually subbing for a team for the group stages this weekend for the PCC. For those who do not know, before the whole broadcast can happen for like the seeding rounds, it had to be a group stages play. So that's where it kind of filters out all the teams that signed up essentially. So I'm gonna have to go scrim practice for this one team I'm subbing for, because the one player is not gonna be play this weekend. So I'm just gonna do a scrim, and then I'm actually gonna play this weekend. So tomorrow you guys might see a scrim video, and you guys might get a good kick out of it who I'm subbing for. So look forward to that on my YouTube channel. But other than that, I'll just see you guys later. Have a good night, everyone.
See you later, Joey.
Good
Much
meeting you,
love,
Joey.
homie.
Just me? Is it just me, or is that one hell of a sub? Like that's
Yeah.
who you get. Like, hey, our backup is actually somebody that starts on any team out there. Like,
That's a
hey,
great
my back.
sub.
Hey guys, we're doing pickup basketball. Yeah, I just got a sub real quick. Hey, LeBron James, thanks, man. I appreciate you coming and helping me out. Like, come on, what?
That's a quick way to get me to disappear off that court, bro. Shit.
Joey is nasty on TwinBlast, bro. I've been supporting him for
Joey's
several
nasty
matches.
on anything in Pred. It doesn't
So
matter.
good,
Like,
dude.
the guy makes freaking Sparrow support look good.
True. Facts.
It doesn't matter what he plays, what role it is, he'll make it work.
Make it work. That's Joey for you.
Yeah, man.
Bro, that animation.
Skin.
Yes, bro.
I cannot.
That animation right there, whenever the shield opens up.
Yeah, the energy.
Now, granted, that's a totally an emote. I might be tripping. That's totally an emote right there.
Yo,
That's-
that's a good point.
That's totally an emote.
An
The
emo. Yeah.
Yeah.
arm up in the air, a little bit of a roar coming out of him. I'm just saying. But yeah, what Gigi was bringing up in the chat, we haven't really talked about it, is we were supposed to already be out of free heroes by now. It's just because of delays, they extended it, right? So every time a hero gets released, that's a big update. But I personally thought that they weren't going to charge for heroes until the UI gets here.
They're not charging heroes for this season, is what they said in the blog post.
But they extended the season. Is he going to mark the new season? Or technically, he's still part of the old of the ascended season, right?
Correct.
Okay. So he'll
until
still
they
technically be
announce
free.
Season 3 is when you'll start paying for heroes.
So the way they'll probably do it is they'll probably release Zarus, and then the next patch might be the UI and the start of a new season. Hopefully.
So I don't know if you guys remember, but a lot of the speculation, especially from their post about the UI, is September is when the new UI is supposed to come out. And obviously, this guy being the last hero, September hits, big UI change, new hero is what we're speculating for the most part.
And if I remember right from when you guys had Robbie on, it seemed like the new UI and the whole hero contracts and all of that was all tied in together. So the way he described it, it seemed like, yeah, they wouldn't charge or have the contracts for heroes until the UI is out, basically. But
That's the way I understand it. I brought that up. I don't know if it was Jeed or somebody else that brought that up in one of the Discord messages. And to me, like, it's, you don't know, but I guess if UI comes out in this patch, it might be a possibility. They haven't made an announcement yet. Because like with the last hero, they say, hey, we're gonna give it to you because of this whatever issue. But this one, they haven't said anything, so we'll see, I guess. But they also kind of made it known that like they're not gonna start charging for heroes until the UI is done. Is the way I understood it. So
That's what I'm thinking, unless like they extend the season, but I'm pretty sure, like, depending on like the time frame, like just by like generalization, by like all the information, like they want to do a console test, right? They want to release the new UI, and they also want to go to free to play by the end of the year, roughly the beginning of the year next year. So I mean, there's only so many months left to really do everything. So I'm thinking, and Robbie did say the UI is a lot closer than people think it is, and so is console. So I think September is a good time to release the UI, and then comes console, and then hopefully try to get everything done by the end of the year so they can go free to play. But that's just based off the information from everybody.
Bro, I'm excited for this character. Like, straight up, I'm excited for him. Now, I'm more excited to see him not in the solo. Because let's be honest, like a dash, a stun, and an ultimate that engages and cages That's support material. That's jungle material. I don't know how his clear is going to be in the jungle, so that one might be a little bit more debatable. But I could totally just see a tanky support Zarus. Just like, they're in the middle of the lane, ult them. They're dead. Be like, fuck.
He's definitely flexible. His kit makes him just way too flexible not to just be all over the place, right? You see that from Greystone with Joey's video of how to support with Greystone. No, I'm playing, but I think he'll fit the role of support more just based off his CC in his kit. He's able to actually do something. He's able to block incoming damage or reduce. Sorry,
that's true. He can tank. He can body block a bit.
So he's going to be able to do a lot more in these roles. I don't think he's going to be viable in mid or carry, but obviously, you know, people are going to try it in the first week. But I think definitely support jungle and offlane. I think he's going to thrive more in offlane though, based off of his kit. He wants to 1v1. He doesn't want to be in that zone of like being with multiple people, kind of.
Yeah, but if that spear scales the way I'm thinking to kind of incentivize a little bit of damage building, like let's use a Richter Hook for example. Richter Hook scales 100%. It's like nuts.
It's probably the highest damage thing in the game. Like, I don't understand why it scales that much.
No,
like for support.
Gideon.
For
okay,
support.
I would say Gideon's his is like a 450 or something at that scaling.
Yeah, like for support, like why do you have that much damage in one ability? Like,
but now if you don't land his one ability, it's kind of rough.
Yeah, you're not a Richter if you don't land a pull. That's a good point. But now think of this: imagine building him in the jungle and just literally nuking people with that spear, because it can be thrown or the jab. I can see a jungler coming up out of nowhere, ulting you. He's on you, jab, chunks the fuck out of you, stuns you. Somebody finish this shit. I'm going back to my jungle.
Like, I was thinking the way I build Greystone jungle is I do the Overlord and Infernum. So I'm wondering on him that might be able to make up for his clear. Because if you can spear multiple targets with Infernum, catch them all on fire, you're just going to blow through minions. And then you have the stun for the gank. You have the ult. I mean, he's going to be a nasty jungler. That's what I'm most excited to play. Because I'm a jungle main. So I just seem spicy,
bro.
But I don't know, we'll see.
That's gonna be so lit, bro. That's gonna be annoying as hell. Like FaZe is gonna be strong against him because I'm pretty sure FaZe will pull you out of any wall. Like I've seen some pretty nasty Dekker cages and FaZe still pulled you out. Right?
FaZe is ultimate counter to anybody in this game. Like, oh, you want to engage? Sorry.
She could hit you with the Galaxy Greaves, jump, yank you the fuck out of there.
Pretty much, man. FaZe is just one of the most annoying. That's why I just think she's so great. She's just able to pull you out of anything.
Yep.
I do want to correct myself though. 261% is Gideon's ultimate. Is what his ultimate skill.
Yeah, I thought 400 was a lot, but I wasn't gonna say anything.
I believe when there was a time released, was a time they made it was 450. Like, it was huge.
Oh, that shit sounds broken as hell. What the hell?
That's why it's 261 now.
Gideon's a frustrating character as jungle man.
Now,
yeah, you just leave him alone.
You just can't. You just a good one. You just can't gank him. Like, it's so hard.
Now, I actually want to do a quick little shout out here to the marketing team, actually, and I'll put some of this here on the screen just because they gave us an amazing Predecessor report, right, for the month of July. And this here talked about so much. It gave us a name for the lizard, calling him Zarus, excuse me,
Zarus.
Officially. I'm gonna fuck that up the whole time, bro. I'm telling you. And then at the same time, you know, they gave us ability icons. They gave us matchmaking improvements, talking a little bit about that. This one was loaded. They gave us like a kind of like before and after, not the final product of the new UI, but kind of like the rough draft, like them giving us work in progress. And I thought this was amazing. I would love to see little things like this, even if it's just a before and after picture, just showing the amount of work that was put in.
Loved it.
So I definitely like that current skin. I was greatly appeased by that because I was like, red just looks good on any hero. And just like the intricacy of like how it's gonna look, I like that they have the card art there, and you can kind of see like where they're heading with their card art, right? And this
very flashy,
right? And then just like everything just looks so clean, so simplistic, and honestly, I can't wait to see the finished product of it because it just looks amazing already.
Yeah, bro. You know what's something crazy too? I can see in this picture alone the safe zones for console. How everything's pushed off like an inch from the edges. Like that's some shit that like I know that they brought up before, and we were like, oh my god, I forgot about that struggle. But the fact that the UI specifically is kind of pushed away from the edges, just to kind of make up for that and make it a little bit more convenient there. And bro, like even moving past that there, like they mentioned console
double pass that. Sorry. The on that picture, what I like, and if you guys said, I'm sorry, I was busy doing something, but I like with the heroes, like what you can see here, and Joey brought it up in his video that he posted. You got like the 2 of 5 for Kira.
Yeah, like the little contracts
for that's got to be the contracts. But like my question is like why? And it might just be to show different things, but you got 1 of 2 and you got 1 of 3. Like why? Like I get 2 of 5. That's an original hero, right? But like
no. So I can narrow it down for you, and I'm pretty sure it'll make sense. So imagine the contract goes scaling. You completed 1 out of 1. Now you completed 1 out of 2, 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5. It keeps scaling that way. The reason why Kira is yellow is because that's your selected contract. That's why the rest of them, even the one that's 3 out of 5. Oh no, but I'm saying
my question is, but why does Bellica have 2? It's 2 contracts, but Kalari's got 3. What would be the difference to have? I mean, it might just be to show that there's going to be different sizes, but like that would
no. So I think it's not the fact that there's 2 contracts. I think so the way that it is in Valorant, and that's the example that Ace used. In Valorant, there's 1 contract, but there's 10 levels in the contract. The more experience you gain is like I just finished level 1, I just finished level 2. I just finished level 3, and you don't unlock the character until you finish level 10. With that idea, what I'm seeing here is he's working on his level 2 for Bellica. He's working on his level 5 for Kira. He's working on his level 5 for Mori. And then he's working on his level 3 for Kalari. That's just like progress bars per level. And then whenever he finishes Kira, he might go into 6. Now he's going to be 1-6, 2-6, 3-6.
Yeah. So like I think what Beard is trying to say is like, but you answered it. So essentially think of the last number as the level they're aiming for, and the first number is how far they've gotten through that level.
Okay, so there's going to be levels to the level.
Right.
Levels to the progression. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Gotcha.
And then the highlight portion that I was mentioning, so it looks like he was working on Morigesh, but then this person switched and now they're working on Kira. Right. They left Morigesh at 3 out of 5.
I mean, and I get having progress on multiple heroes. I'm just saying, like, and to me, the way when I'm looking at this, I looked at Kira being the original hero, right? That's on here. So she's the OG hero. It's going to take, because she's OG, we need you to do a little bit more for her, right? But for our basic heroes, it's either going to be like, especially like the easy, like Greystone. And Greystone, you just got to do 1 contract with Greystone, and we'll give you Greystone just because he's an easy hero. We want the new players to understand what W key heroes and be able to play the game and have fun. But then somebody that's a little more complex, a little more like if you actually are able to play and master them, they need to have a little more contract because we don't want to just give those players away. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be your 3, right? But then you have ones then you have in between ones, it's going to be 2. That's what I saw this. And I was like, I look at Bellica and Kalari. I don't think those are that different for them to be 2 and 3. That sounds like, why would, and again, it might just be separated to show
Yeah, maybe those might not be the actual values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what leads me to believe that it's tiers within those levels is because, like, look at Mori. You see how Mori on the progress bar is almost to the end, but she's only 3 out of 5?
Yep.
I don't know how we can see this. I'll try to make it a little bit bigger.
I can see that. Yeah, no, I got it. But that tells me that once that progress,
once it reaches the end, it'll turn 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, also the phase and Drongo, it looks like they haven't even started it, and they're both 0 and 1 kind of thing. And then you look at the gadget, she's 0 and 1, but her progress bar is going up, so they might have started gadget.
Oh yeah.
So
you can see the ticks.
Yeah.
See how Bellica has 1 tick, 2, and then Kira has 3 ticks left, and then Morgish has 2 ticks. You can see the actual little animation in there.
Bro, and can we talk about the fact that there's a watch button on here?
I think that's for the replay system, right?
Yeah.
I think that's where the replay system goes.
Oh, okay. You think that's only going to be replay oriented there?
Well, it's not only going to be replayed.
Well,
they
like,
do intend for you to
like tutorial videos and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, like, you can do like your VOD reviews still, but I feel like it's more of like you can watch live matches, and instead of like going and be like, oh, watch replay, it's more like, okay, go watch this player's game, and like you don't have to do anything. You can just simply watch it, or you can be like, oh, watch, or like go through replay or something like that. I think that's really where it's at.
Oh shit, Wary pointed out a great thing. Bellica might be in the weekly rotation because she's got the little time in her picture, the little clock.
Yeah,
True.
that's weekly.
Yeah, good point.
That's definitely a time based. So I think that would be definitely weekly. But look how well that crunch skin looks. Like just like
with him, right?
For him, right?
I'm just looking at the fact that this person only has Crunch and Sevarog unlocked.
Well, he knows who the real champion in the game is. Literally, if you pick Crunch, like
he's a solo main. Get him out!
Hey, Crunch be doing damage.
Isn't he a support main now? I'm pretty sure Efsixx is a support main now, isn't he?
I am a support main, but I'm telling you what, when Zarus, Lazarus, whatever you want to call it, that I'm gonna be in the offlane 24/7, and if I don't get my pick, I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep during that game.
Dude, throw him in support role, dude. Just pick it.
No, I'm not gonna be that guy.
Come on.
Another thing I want to point out, right above the store, there's that little glowing thing, like to let you know there's something new in the store or whatever. That's going to be a little...
Oh, true.
And also, if you look at it, it's actually Xbox oriented. A lot of people won't really realize that.
Because you see the A. That's a good point. And the bumpers, yeah. That's an Xbox controller.
Xbox
Damn, I didn't catch that.
Since Xbox, that's why I'm here. I got you, Windu.
Thank you.
But Xbox is probably a lot further than we think, but PlayStation is probably easier to go at first. That's just
not easier.
Wait a minute.
On the show, it's not easier. It's the fact that that's where the Paragon community is right now.
Facts.
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah, because it was like 70% PlayStation players. Yeah.
I started playing Paragon on PlayStation, and that's why I got into PC gaming was from being a PlayStation player on Paragon.
These console warriors over here,
bro. Worth pointing out, this is how you can tell this is just kind of the show. That's an Xbox controller, but the username definitely has a PlayStation icon next to the username. Yep. The homie's using an Xbox controller on the PlayStation. Blasphemy.
He has bigger hands. That's why.
I hope his PlayStation breaks the controller, just shorts it out.
I can't, bro. I will say,
is that a mastery thing from his number though? He's 280 and he's got that gold like ring around him. Like,
yeah,
is that looks mastery ring? Like,
that looks cool.
Yeah, that does look like he prestige or something.
The one thing I don't like by seeing that, and again they said it's not finished, is you only see platinum. That's the one thing I don't like. I want an in-game currency.
There is a space there.
You have to.
There is a space.
I mean, there is, but that doesn't. I mean, right now we're not seeing it. So
fair.
Until you show me something, it's not there.
You're right.
Fair. I'm just saying because everything around the edge on the top and the right has something there to fill it, and there just happens to be a space right next to the currency. You never know.
Right. They just haven't figured out the name yet.
In that same situation, though, you have 2 Gruxes down there. When we're looking at just heroes, you had 2 Gruxes and 3 Richters. That's not 3. I mean, that's just fillers.
Pappy would be happy.
Yeah.
You could still put a filler there of currency and have it not be there just because something's not there. That to me says that there's nothing there until maybe otherwise.
Did Robbie confirm that there's going to be a separate grindable currency, or maybe you just grind platinum?
No, he just said basically they're going to have their contract system to unlock characters.
Yeah.
He never necessarily alluded that there will be a free in-game currency. It's like the contract system is their in-game reward that you can grind for.
Okay. And skins will come out of that as well?
No, well, at least not that we know of. The contract system to us is only the heroes. That's how you unlock heroes. He explained it to this is how you unlock heroes is the contract system. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you need something And I'm not, maybe you got to grind your fucking ass off to be able to unlock a skin. That's fine. There just needs to be another way for you to be able to get a skin that's not actually spending money.
It could go with the contracts as well, right? You just do contracts just to get a skin, right? Like,
it could, but we don't know that that wasn't said.
Yeah,
so we don't
that's
know
a fair
that.
point.
And
Yeah.
True.
And that is a big ass search bar, by the way. I'm gonna just throw that shit out there. It's a big ass search bar. And let them words, they're extra caps, bro. Oh shit. But no, so just so we don't talk too much about this, I'm gonna go ahead and move on forward here. So I mentioned a little bit about console. They mentioned about the requirements, things that they've been more open towards the community, specifically like on Predcast and other forms of social media and stuff. But like, for example, they said they've begun submitting game builds reviewed by Sony and Microsoft.
Yep.
So you remember how they were telling us they were submitting to Sony that week whenever Robbie came on the Predcast.
Yeah.
But now they're saying that they're submitting to Sony and Microsoft. So it's like Efsixx was saying, Microsoft might not be that far behind. PlayStation's coming first, but Microsoft might be like 3 months, 6 months away, maybe from the original PlayStation release. Maybe depending on how it goes. And again, just guesstimating here. And they also talk about the toxicity and mentioning, like their bot, it's been doing great. So far, they've had 0 false reports, and apparently it's been doing really well. I got homies that got chat banned the first moment they logged in.
Read that. Go back. It wasn't 0 false reports. It was something else, because I believe there was some other issues, but it was 0. Where's that at? I'm watching it on stream.
We're pleased to confirm that at the time of writing, we've identified 0 incorrectly assigned chat suspension from the new automated system.
Okay.
I mean, they haven't banned anybody incorrectly.
It was just chat suspension, which is basically like the chat suspensions are like the system will automatically like level 1 be like, hey man, we're shutting this shit down. You can't talk for the rest of the game.
Shut it down.
Yeah. But that's the things when you're getting banned, like the suspensions, like you're like, hey, because you used a slur, that you get a suspension. But a false positive because I said, oh fuck, that it's like, well, wait a minute, I didn't say fuck you, or I didn't say anything derogatory to somebody else. They're still like, I believe they're and it says later on that they're working on those things. But like it's not, so that's, I just want to make sure it wasn't 0 false positive, that's 0 incorrectly.
I had a 24-hour ban already, and I wasn't even being toxic, bro. I literally said,
"Get him out."
This happened to me twice. I said, "Man, that Countess is being a bitch." Talking about the enemy Countess. Boom, insta ban, 24 hours. That's
I'm pretty sure that's a target phrase, being a bitch. Yeah. Like you are being a bitch. They are being a bitch.
I was like, I think it was something like, I was like, nice, you killed her. She was being a bitch or something like that. Like, I was like, okay, it's pretty strict.
Hey, I caught you slipping, Indo.
Right? He's like, he said it happened twice too. Poor guy. But
first time.
Yeah, cool to see. And I like the fact that this was more of a recap blog post overall, but I really do dig it. Cool. Here a picture there. Runway, excuse me. They gave us some TwinBlast art. They mentioned that it was inspired by Call of Duty Black Ops. I don't remember who it was, but I remember somebody called that shit out on Twitter, and they're like, bro, come on, look at these two side by side. They clearly inspired by Black Ops. That was kind of cool. I did see, and then they showed us a few renders that just didn't go well, like this giraffe neck Countess.
How creepy is that, dude?
That's very,
hey man,
what's that thumb, like what is that?
Yeah, that's Slenderman thumb, 100%. Like that's yeah,
probing thumb.
Somebody out there is a very happy person looking at this picture. We're gonna go next. This is creepy as hell.
And that thumb with the sword, that's a thumb that you can type on anything. The reach with that thumb is crazy.
I can't, bro.
She holds her phone too long.
Bro, look at this. Like the eyeballs popping out, the teeth popping through. Got some Bugs Bunny going on.
Those are Who Framed Roger Rabbit eyes right there.
Yeah, true.
Bro, her neck falls down her back and then catches back up. Like, this is trippy. This one really makes me up. Now this one, I'll be honest with you, I don't 100% see where the oh shit, this video got fucked up. I mean, this picture got fucked up. I saw this picture and I was like, that's a dope ass picture, bro.
The Gideon kind of looks a little bit creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
He's smiling a little too much, granted.
Yeah,
for sure.
He needs to chill out a little bit.
On the sauce.
Chimera's completely lost. He doesn't even know he's here.
He's looking for grass. Poor guy. He hasn't touched it in a while.
Right.
That's a Chimera problem. But yeah, I thought that was a cool picture. I don't know about that one. Then we're talking with Aquazone. Pretty sure that's how you say that, right?
Yeah, that's how.
An analyst over. Well, hold on. Principal data analyst. There we go. At Omeda. I thought that was a good read. We're not gonna go too crazy into it unless you guys want to point anything out. But I thought overall, it was nice to see and hear from another member of Omeda. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know Aquazone existed until this post.
Yeah. I mean, the best thing I saw there was just like when you're talking about right before you finish scrolling with the dedicated like small population, how that allows them to really like kind of just test a bunch of stuff out, right? And that's like the main thing Omeda's been talking about. Like, hey, we want this small population. I can't speak population in our early access because we want to test things out. Like, we don't want to release
like scare a bunch of people.
Yeah, and like just be like, oh yeah, go ahead, free to play. But here's our unfinished product. Like, let's test this out in a smaller group. And I feel like this speaks a lot to exactly what they've been saying the entire time.
True. And then from here, we see community roundup. We see some art by Mad Cat. Shout out to the homie. He's been hanging out with a lot of us here recently. This picture is dope.
Fire.
This Kira picture, bro. Like, this needs to be in game. Change my mind. This will make their first OG character look good. Like, that's and I'm not just saying that because it's purple. Anyway, then Two's Company. This one here is by Mr. Bane. Yep, by Mr. Bane. This is mad chill too. The sword, the gun, and I get a little crossbow gun looking thing. I think it's technically a crossbow, right? Even though it shoots like energy or whatever the hell, right?
Yeah,
it's a crossbow.
Crossbow.
Bro, she's got like blood dripping from her mouth or something. Like she just finished eating or some shit. Like, damn, I dig it.
Mommy countess.
I can't with them. And then they show some awesome screenshots by Arkikin, right?
Damn.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Me.
But yeah, these if I would have thought these were rendered, if somebody would have told me these were screenshots, I would have been like, no fucking shot, bro. There's no way that's a screenshot. But these screenshots are actually like dope, bro, and like really high quality screenshots too. Bro, look at this.
These are great.
Look at that.
Great. You can see these too. For anybody who wants to know, in the Predecessor Discord, they actually have a spot for screenshots. And this Arkikin, he's been posting stuff there, or they have been posting stuff there all the time. So you can see a lot of these great stuff there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going back real quick. I was verifying a comment I saw by Gus. You're wrong, Gus. You were wrong with the hand placement. Anyway, and then they give us a major shout out. So
major shout out.
Big thank you to Kari was the one that wrote this, right?
Yep.
And the rest of the marketing team in general. But shout out to Kari here because I didn't think that we were gonna get a shout out. They mentioned that the Predcast, a lot of staff have been on the Predcast, like a quick little condensed form of, hey, check out these dev interviews so you can actually get more insight as to everything. They point out the CEO won first, 32. And then they mentioned Demande, junior game designer, 35. Shreds, senior operations manager, 36. And these are like very well integrated. You click on their name of like their job title, it'll send you to the Predcast. You click on the picture, it's a hyperlink. It'll send you to that specific episode. Like very, very well set up. Not like, check these out, where's the link? Figure that shit out on yourself. Like it's actually very well done, right? So shout out to them, and a quick little shout out to our editor that helps us out with the thumbnails and everything too, because these thumbnails are all fire. So some love throwing that way as well. And then
little thing you didn't know there, Windu.
What's up?
Because you and the editor are able to get these shows out even that much faster now. That last one, the J Shreds one, wasn't going to be on this, but because we were able to get it to go live on YouTube the next day, at the time I posted it go live, she literally said she sent me a message in Discord saying just in time, like she's almost done writing this up, but she was able to add it to it because we were able to make it go live that fast.
Oh shit! I would have never realized that shit. Good thing that we got our shit and got everything in order here recently, right? But yeah. By the way, another reminder, guys. We're gonna try and do these little reminders here a lot more frequently. Predcast traditionally are going to be live streamed every single Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern at the Bearded Wolverine's Kick channel. The following day, right about noon, it'll be going live on my YouTube channel for anybody that missed it. Just want to throw those little snippets here and there because we've gotten feedback that we don't mention enough when they're live stream, when they get posted, etc. So traditionally, Wednesday night is live. Thursday at about noon is when the VOD is put up. So big shout out to everybody that helps make that happen. Bro, we have a timestamps guy, we got thumbnail guy, we got editor. Like there's a little team that's been formed just to be able to try and everybody do a little bit, and that way by a certain time frame it's like, all right, everybody throw me all your throw everything into the pile, let's put it together, post it. So shout out to everybody that works on these to actually get these out. But then they mentioned the Prime Championship Circuit, the PCC.
Let's go.
And what is a PCC, if you want to educate everybody? Efsixx.
It's the Prime Championship Circuit. It is essentially the only competitive scene available for Predecessor at the moment. Right now, this weekend is starting the group plays, and essentially by going into a little bit of September, it's going to be going into the finals. Right now, it's the biggest prize pool so far at 3,500. So you're going to see pretty much everybody, even from EU, all of NA West, coming over to play in this tournament. Honestly, guys, I wouldn't miss out on it. It's going to be great. Just seeing the rosters in itself. Man, I can't wait to actually cast these games. And we have great staff, even going from like the people you don't see, like Choice Plays and like Jolster in the background, and like Stranger in them and Hot Sauce, and then you have the casters and analysts like our dog Joey's going to be there as well, me, Lance, we're all going to just be there, and it's just going to be a great time, and all the competition you guys need from Predecessor, not just like casual games.
I see.
Who's going to be in it?
What's up?
Are you streaming it on your Twitch? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I'm not going to be streaming on my Twitch. It's going to be streamed on the PCC Twitch channel. Just type in Prime Championship Circuit or PCC inside Twitch. And if you want, just go to their Discord as well. I'm pretty sure there's a Discord link on that blog post. And you can just go there and follow them. It's all ran in the background by Choice and Tedium. They're kind of the guys that kind of do like the video work for it. And it's just a great production quality, and it's just a great time from everybody around.
Nice. Now, I do want to point out really quick, because we're going to go into like a quick little segment that we're trying to introduce on a more regular basis. But again, quick little shout out to the marketing team here for releasing some of these teasers, because these teasers had us here in the Predcast chat DMing each other throughout the day, bro. Like, whenever this shield and spear got released, the first thing Bearded said is like, hey, that's a small shield. And I was like, nah, I think that's an angle thing, bro. Look how big that leaf is. That can't be that small. So, bro, we definitely were chatting it up every time one of these got posted, bro. And I think overall, the aesthetic of it, how simplistic it was, the color scheme that they went for, everything. Like, I really thought everything with the glares and the ascension, blah blah blah, the spear has electricity on it. This is an awesome picture. And then we also see the one that got released the day after. That shocked me, like back to back.
Man,
bro, this picture here, this is nuts.
The ultimate face reveal.
Yeah, it was
back-to-back-to-back.
it was teasing of the weapons, the character, and then the hero abilities.
And now the abilities. Like, so are we getting something tomorrow?
It's Friday. That's when they usually release something spicy. That's when they release the like gameplay video of it, like a little bit more instead of going over like the hero kit.
But also tomorrow's Friday, so that means we're getting patch notes for Tuesday, right?
Shit.
Yeah.
So that's gonna give us we're gonna get the breakdown of the ability, like the
the scaling, etc.
Yes, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get all that stuff tomorrow.
We're gonna see how broken he really is, or not.
Hopefully, just a little broken.
I'm just excited, and I'm hoping they nerf the hell out of Deathstalker so I could stop getting one-shotted by TwinBlast.
Let's talk about it. You brought it up. Let's talk about it.
I am just over it.
All
and
right.
that build, I love Joey, but the fact that man put that build out there so quick ruined the entire TwinBlast for me. I can't do it.
So a lot of people are complaining about TwinBlast and his ultimate and how it's able to one-shot people or whatever. You know, like you basically just click your ultimate and you hit all your bullets. That person's from 100 to 0 like that. But we were talking, us Predcast people and some other people, we kind of been talking about it, and the question is it TwinBlast ultimate or is it the items that he's able to actually utilize?
The abuse.
And I think, and what Joey said, Joey's not here, so I'll say what Joey said. Joey said he thinks it's the items, and I agree with Joey. And the reason Joey says he thinks the items, because if you take the normal on-hit build that you want to use with TwinBlast, you're not going to be able to 100 to 0 anybody, right? But that's your normal build, what you want to build with TwinBlast, right? But these other builds that people are able to utilize and take advantage of, assassin builds, or what is that, fastest fuckboy builds, that Windu has, going on, like those builds with what they have on them, you're able to do more out of them. And I think it's the items. I don't know exactly the items because I've been playing a lot more offlane than I've done doing anything with carry. But I've seen Infernum is one that's used a lot. Deathstalker is used a lot. And then
honestly, those are the main problems on him.
Those two on his ulti, they just proc.
They're game changers for sure.
Yeah, he's just instantly procking all of it.
It's not necessarily Infernum. It is completely Deathstalker. Deathstalker is such a broken item. Like Infernum is like, okay, it's annoying. Yeah. But if you put into the passive of Deathstalker, just being able to do, I think it's like 25% free damage if you hit everything. And once it builds up corrode, the fact that you're shooting 25 bullets, you're stacking that corrode was, I don't know what the math is, but probably like 4 or 5 times, and you're bursting 25% of their health down. And that is the problem. Because every time he applies on hit, so he's doing that damage to corrode, and the passive is proccing so many times off his ult, it is completely ridiculous, and it needs to be changed. Because it works well on Sparrow and Revenant as well, but TwinBlast was the hero that came in and just like put it into such a spotlight that like if they don't do something about it, it's like you're trying to ignore it, and you just, or I don't know what's going on. It's ridiculous.
I was about to say, I only saw Deathstalker used before on Rev. That's it.
Right.
Because he was the one that could take advantage of it. You said Kira Deathstalker? I could see that, getting her ultis to build it.
It stacks up, and it works on her ult, or
it works on Grux too as well. Like it's just a broken item, and it just needs to be changed.
Darker on Grux.
Don't get any ideas.
I was about to say the scaling would definitely be slower on Grux, but I guess right because of the ticks, maybe.
No, hold on. If you build Bonesaw and Sky Splitter with Grux, there's no scale. Like it, you will get that Deathstalker will come live quick.
I mean, okay, fair, but by that third one, Deathstalker, that's a squishy Grux, bro.
I'm going to mention something here that's probably shouldn't be mentioned.
And you put Stonewall and Crystalline on, like you got 70-70. You're doing pretty good there.
That's fair.
That's fair. There's your other 2 items. So you're doing pretty decent.
So it's not just damage you do essentially with your abilities. So like, I probably shouldn't say this, but even Fire Blossom procs the corrode. So essentially there's
outgoing damage in general.
Yeah. Like it's just so many different paths you can take. And it just needs to be changed in general, in my opinion.
All right. So what do you think would be the fix of it? And before you answer, I bring that up because Jay Swiftblade in Windu's Discords was bringing up possibly when a cooldown, like basically prolonging the cooldown on Infernum or maybe Deathstalker, right? So it's like, hey, once you got one proc of damage, then it takes another 1 second or 2 seconds or something like that for the next thing, because you could do damage within that time and it's not going to proc it again. But would that be something that would be a fix, or what do you think should be the fix for it?
No, that's essentially the fix for most of the like items that happen that way, right? You see it on, I forget the item's name, but essentially you see that in a lot of MOBAs. They put a cooldown on when you can proc it. So like maybe like 10 seconds, not even 10 seconds, that's a lot of time. Maybe like 5 seconds or 6 seconds that you can be able to proc that ability again. And I think that will be able to stop people from abusing it, because now you're procking it once every like couple seconds instead of procking it every time you're able to proc it.
Yeah, that would pretty much fix it.
Versus just doing a damage, like a straight damage nerf.
Right.
Yeah. See it.
Or hear me out.
I'm hearing.
I was gonna say, hear me out. You take away the ability for it to scale so fucking much, because there's only 2 heroes that can scale it that hard, that fast. You cap that shit at like 3. And have and like, let's say you keep the same exact scaling of damage, but you just cap it at a lower ceiling. So now instead of scaling and doing this much damage, now it'll only do this much, because we have all the numbers, so to speak.
That's also like a balancing thing. That's not necessarily, I think the cooldown fixes the item more than the actual numbers, because if you go into the numbers part of it, now you like essentially nerf the item, not to the ground, but you kind of take away that item from people. You don't want to take away from it. Like, you want it to still do a lot of damage. That's why those characters work well with this item. You want certain heroes to be able to use it well. And that's not the problem. The problem is it's just proccing all the time. And if you put a cooldown on it, you mitigate that aspect of like you're proccing it like every single time you can, and then now you're like, okay, you're able to do that much damage, like you're a carry, you want to be able to do that much damage, but now you're not instantly proccing all the time and doing a ridiculous amount of damage while you're doing it.
All right, so Efsixx, with that in mind, give me a hero that rightfully uses Deathstalker and how it works with them.
I mean, the heroes that use it now. So like TwinBlast should be able to use that item, or Revenant should be able to, because Revenant is like the perfect scenario, because he's a person that is trying to burst you. He's not trying to be in a sustained fight with a hero. Like, he's trying to take you from 0 to 100 as much as possible. But the fact that he's able to do it so many times and just completely delete you, especially if you include other items that complement him, like Vanquisher going in there with that, and Malady, like, you're just pretty much using 2 or 3 shots in one ability, and you're taking an entire squishy out of the fight, and it's not essentially good for the time to kill that you're trying to achieve. And he's able to just keep doing that over and over, but he should just be able to proc it one time, maybe on one character. But if he's going to go into another fight, he should have a cooldown on it to be able to do that much damage to another character in the same instance.
Well, that would be interesting. Have a massive cooldown per character. That doesn't stop the problem with TwinBlast Ultimate in that case. But
it does, because TwinBlast Ultimate is not long. So like, if you put like even like a 5-second cooldown is still long enough for Twinblast Ultimate not to proc it more than once.
I got you, because it lasts too long. Because technically, the stronger you are, the longer it'll last. So you can literally build yourself into the point where I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit too strong for this Deathstalker to work properly.
Well, not essentially. So like, you want it to be able to do that instant of burst, but you don't want it to do it all the time. So the fact that he's able to proc.
Okay, fair. Like, the burst will still work for like the burst will still work for like the first 15 bullets, but then not for the rest of it. Okay, I get you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's
I could see that,
because it you still keep the flavor of the item too. You're not just neutering it.
Right.
So,
you're not taking it out of the ballpark. You're keeping it in the realm, but you're just making it more, I guess, complementary to the playstyle that you're trying to.
So just a window is what we're saying.
Right.
Yeah. You're just shortening the
effectiveness window. Okay. Pass that along. There's threads if you're listening. Pass that along. That's a good one. just give it a window of effectiveness, and then you don't necessarily have to change too much about it, but at the same time limiting its usefulness. That's it. I like it. I like it. Hashtag hire Efsixx confirmed.
Me. Because Jason's already told me how much he worked. I was like, I'm not about that life.
Bro, what do you mean? Make this man a partner. Where we at?
Oh, that's a whole different story.
All right, so I'd love to go straight into basically what we're going to try and do here on a more of a weekly basis, because we want to use this platform to also educate a little bit. We're going to have these quick little snippets of, hey, tips and tricks, things to learn, you know, kind of just sharing knowledge with the community. It's actually going to be led by Efsixx, yours truly, the resident hashtag solo laner, not anymore, but he still acts like one, so I don't know what's up with that. But but yeah, let's actually go right into that if we could. What are we going to be talking about today here, Efsixx?
We are going to be talking about essentially the basics of warding. And just like to back off or go with what Windu said, these aren't anything to like go into like fine detail of anything. This is for everybody to learn. It's like kind of just the like basic surface level understanding to increase the knowledge throughout the player base. So it's not going to be like we're going to be talking 5 hours about it, but it's something just to you could maybe come back to, just to look at and just get a better knowledge base of the game, essentially.
I see. You have the stage, my friend.
Yeah, man. So essentially, we're going to learn how to ward today, guys. So I did create it, but with the help of the Predcast and other individuals, we kind of just go through exactly what we're going to go through here, just like the overview, importance of warding, why it's important to ward, kind of how your wards kind of change throughout the early, mid, and late game, and just like a couple of tips and tricks just to kind of help you use your wards effectively, and just kind of close it out at the end. But first off, why wards are important in general. Wards provide vision, which is crucial for map awareness, tracking enemy movements, and preventing ganks. This is actually what we're trying to do with wards, right? We're trying to get vision, and we're trying to understand where everybody's at, so we know if we need to press up on lane or retreat or just make a better play overall, or by like split pushing, right? So by placing wards strategically, you can gain valuable information, protect your team, and secure objectives. This is what we're trying to do, right? The name of the game is to collect more neutral objectives than the enemy team, and neutral objectives can be either the Fangtooth or Prime, or and consider even like towers, right? All the way to the core.
I mean, I would even put in there. I mean, it's a little more minute compared to those, but I would put in there the river buffs and cyan buff and green buff. Like those are neutral, objectives that can actually help put your team over.
Right. It's very like small little things that can potentially just build you up to win the game, right? And you can just get all this information by just correctly placing wards. So like in the early game, what we're going to talk about here, ward placements are crucial for protecting your jungle, preventing invades. So protecting your jungle essentially means like you could ward off the enemy jungler from stealing your enemy jungler's camp when he's not on that side of the map. Preventing invades, same essential thing there. Tracking the enemy jungler. This is very important because knowing where the jungler's at, I've talked to Bearded about this a lot. Knowing where the jungler is at, pretty much you make a decision based off of that, because the jungler is the one person that's really not going to be in the lane too much, and people can't call missing. So like they could say missing mid, missing right, missing left, and you kind of like know where they're coming from. The jungler is kind of one of those people that like just all over the place, and you don't know where they're at all the time. So these wards are effective and helps, and overall enemy movement. So even if you do see the mid laner coming to your side, they say enemy missing, you at least see them on the ward to like, okay, now I really need to back. And like some key locations like warding phase, like river entrances. We talked about the river buffs as well, and just other buffs like the red buff, green buff, and the gold buff, and different jungle entrances from the enemy and from our side as well. And just a small tidbit, remember vision is power and knowledge. That goes a long way. If you understand where people are at, it allows you not to make the mistakes if you see them.
Right, and we got this image here with a Shimby heart in the background.
Shimby heart.
What do we see here?
So essentially, you're going to see the little kind of key where like the orange kind of goldish is the dust side where you kind of want to put your wards if you're coming from that angle, and opposite side as well as the dawn. The red is kind of the neutral factor because the river is a neutral area where both teams want to ward essentially in the same places. And you're fighting over vision superiority. And as you can see here, it's kind of a little bit different for each side of the map. Over by the duo side where the gold buff is, you see that your wards are a little bit more fine-tuned towards the 5 camp and right where the 5 camp stairs are at. And over for the dawn side, you actually are warding the 3 camp and more towards where that underneath cut is coming from the jungler. A lot of times on the blue side of the duo lane and vice versa, the reason why you kind of ward separately other than just the river is because the jungler can take 2 different paths. He can go on the river or he cut underneath the objective and still gank you. So you kind of want to have vision for both of those sides coming in, because if he goes through the river and you don't have a ward there and just underneath the cut, then you won't be able to see him. So you want to get vision on both sides there, and you should be able to. The number of wards here are 5 or 6 on each side. If all the laners, hopefully we're hoping, right, everybody's warding, if all the laners are able to ward these spots, you should have vision to where you don't get gank or you see the gank incoming, so you're able to retreat and make a better decision in your place.
Fair. Now the mid game.
The mid game, it's a little bit different. So as the game progresses into the mid game, ward placements become more focused on objectives and controlling key areas such as Fangtooth and Orb Prime and the enemy jungle entrances. These wards will provide your team with necessary information to make informed decisions and secure objectives. So we're switching into the mid game here. We're a little bit more worried about like the Fangtooth and the Orb Prime. Obviously, the first Fangtooth is more roughly like 6-7 minutes into the game, depending on when you guys can take it. But when we're fighting for that second Fangtooth and going over to the second mini prime, this is where we're kind of switching our wards. You'll notice that we're not necessarily warding the fog walls as much. We're actually focused more on the meat of the jungle, because we want to know where enemies are coming from. So if we want to pull Fangtooth, we want to be able to ward the entrances where they're going to be coming from the enemy team. So you see where like we're warding the stairs where it comes into the jungle camp. We're warding the objective itself to see if they're on the objective, and we're warding, like, now we're pushing the wards a little bit deeper because we're assuming we're having T1s down at this point, and the support and like the offlaner are able to get these wards a little bit deeper into like the red and the blue buff jungle, so you can actually see when they're rotating towards you a lot earlier, so you can either like, hey, we're going to finish this objective, or we're going to kind of peel off the objective and we're going to go into a team fight here and take that fight, and the enemy doesn't know we're going to be taking that fight because we have vision, we have the knowledge they're coming in before they know if we're fully completely doing this buff, and these wards are going to help you make that decision, either fight right there or turn and burn, you know.
Nice. Then late game.
And then late game, it's not too different, but in late game your ward placements become even more critical, right? Because this is where, like in Pred, the late game, you could win one team fight and essentially win the game, even if you're completely losing. And it goes the same thing if you're completely winning, right? So the fact that you have that, it's going to be very important that you have these wards out. There's a lot of times where I know you guys see in your games too, there's not enough wards, and we don't know if like we're doing the Fangtooth or if they're doing the Orb Prime. But warding around the enemy base, neutral objectives, and high traffic areas is really the important part. During this phase can help your team catch enemies off guard, set up ambushes, and secure game-winning objectives. And that's essentially what you want to do. And then once we go to the next slide, you can see that like the wards are a little bit deeper. You're kind of warding right behind the jungle entrance coming into the blue and red camp a little bit deeper, because if you can see them coming in, you can stay behind like an objective wall and just kind of like, okay, they're coming in, we're going to stay behind a wall as a team and kind of just get these guys as they come in, pick them off 1 or 2 at a time, and then that way we have the numbers advantage into coming into this objective. And now that most of the time it's going to be the support you're picking or the jungler, because they're trying to peek first, and if you're able to get that pick, you're able to secure the objective because you guys have the numbers in that fight, and more than likely the enemy team is just going to have to kind of forfeit that objective or int and go in there, and you guys kind of just turn on that single player.
All right, with late game, I want you to explain this to me, Efsixx.
Okay.
There, with late game, you have a winning side and a losing side most of the time.
Right.
What are the benefits of ward placement on a winning side? What are the benefits of a ward placing on a losing side?
Okay, so the benefits are essentially the same, but it kind of just differs a little bit. So for the winning side, the fact that you have vision now gives you a little bit more confidence into like, yes, I can take this objective, because from what I see on the map, based on my wards and based on the minion wave, because also fun fact, the minion wave is a free ward. It allows you to see the enemies, right? And that's why you push lanes up before you try and do objective. But back to where you're saying, but for the winning team, the fact that you have vision, knowing where the enemies are, you're like, okay, we can for sure take this objective. Or like, hey, this other person, the jungler's on the red side of the map when we're trying to do, or prime, and vice versa for the opposite side. So that way we're like, okay, the jungle's not here. We're already big enough to take a 4v5. And especially if the smite is not there with their team, they can't steal this objective, right? Because if it's jungler versus jungler, it's a 50-50, even if it's a losing team. But knowing that on the winning team is just fantastic, right? And then for the losing team, you know they're on an objective. You're not trying to go to take this objective because you're losing and you're kind of down bad right now. Your power level is not the same as the winning side. So if you know they're taking an objective, you kind of like, okay, we need to group up. They're taking damage initially from the objective, and we could come in since we know where everybody's at and they're all at this objective. One, if you have a Shinbi, they can split push, right? And you guys can take a 4v5 fight because they're taking so much damage from these bigger buffs like the big or prime or the primordial Fangtooth. They're going to be taking damage. That gives you the advantage in the fight. And if you're able to use like a good team fight tactic of like, hey, we need to pick off the lowest first in the back, or we need to take out the jungler, you guys are able to put yourself in an advantage knowing that where people are at.
You know how many times I've gotten bamboozled because I'm like, we got a ward there, they're fighting it, give it a few seconds, that's primal, let them melt, let them get melted, let them get nice and toasty, and then we run in, everybody's full health. Like it's just the Chimera regenning his ass off, right? And it's just everybody's full health. It's like, abort! It's only two of us, back up.
Yeah, Chimera is one of those guys that could just sit there at the objective. But I mean, at the same time, if you guys are able to like take out their major damage dealers, which are most likely on the front side of the pit, or maybe take out their CC, like if they have a Richter, right, he's probably going to be zoning a little bit more, or a steal, than actually being on the objective. And if you're able to take out their key player of like being able to stop you from initiating on all these damage dealers, you guys should be able to blow up like the carry or the mid laner, right? And then that from there, you're turning the fight onto the jungler. And if you time it right, because you have the vision knowing when they start it, like, hey, they can't burn this in 2 seconds, right? So having that vision there gives you the time frame and making sure you're understanding like where the enemy is moving to. I hope that answered your question, Bearded.
It does perfectly. Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Right, now going into
tips and tricks. Yeah, so like wall hacks, I just call this wall hacks because trying to position your wards near walls to confuse the jungler with a sweeper. Essentially what I mean by this is if you place your wards closer to the wall, exactly where you're trying to ward, a lot of times they'll come in, they'll sweep, but the fact that they're not looking at their mini map to see the ward actually,
they walk right by it.
They walk right by it. You have the ward there, and they're just like, how did he know? I just swept. There's a ward. There's not a ward here, right? It's just because you hit the ward behind a wall, you're still able to get vision, and using that is going to be able to help you at least just be a little bit smarter, especially if the jungler's not as keen as you are. And also, you could place wards over certain walls by just either running up to the wall, and it'll kind of clip over it, like maybe warding the 5 camp or warding the 2 camp. Or even warding like the Fangtooth. You could also just jump a little bit and you'll be able to ward over it and you won't put yourself in a bad position. I see a lot of people are like, I have to ward this. I'm going to go run into front of the pit with the 5 people there. No, you could simply just do a little hop and skip, place the ward over. You guys can get vision and at least be able to make an informed decision on what you guys are trying to do. And ward timers, they get longer the more you level up.
This is something I didn't know. I did not know this until we were working on this together. I'm like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, right. There's a little bit of information for everybody, like even veteran players, right? So like if you look at the actual ward itself, even the sweeper, it gets longer per level. So you can use this to your advantage. So therefore, like placing your initial level 1 ward is sometimes not the ideal situation. Maybe waiting until you hit level 2 is also a big key player. If you place your ward at level 1 at like the minute mark, your ward actually disappears before the river buff and you don't get key information from it. If you wait till level 2, you place your ward, jungler's not going to gank you level 1. If he does, I don't know why they would do that.
In the bag.
It's icy.
But if you place it level 2, you'll be able to see if the jungler, especially if you're using the ward graph we just posted up there, you'll see if somebody's rotating from the river buff, which is most likely the enemy jungler or the mid laner. They're like, oh, I just got river. I already pushed my lane up. I'm going to rotate to a side lane. That's going to help you out as well because you have your level 2 ward placed down there. It'll at least give you information going through that. And then if you don't know, sweepers are loud as hell. They can be heard through the fog wall. So if you're trying to be a jungler trying to gank and you're sweeping at the same time, and if the enemy's close to the fog wall, they can hear you. So be aware of that. But also, if you hear the enemy jungler sweeping, just know there's a ganking coming. Just back off, give it a second or two, and kind of just go back.
Okay. Now, the timing is key. The ward timers, that's all done by level. So as you level up, your ward lasts longer. Yes. So if I'm a level 3 and my opponent's only a level 2, my ward's going to last longer than their ward, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just incremental each level, or is there like
It's incremental each level. I forget exactly what it is, but if you go into the items inside, like when you open Predecessor, you'll be able to see the it will say like I think it's like 86 seconds or something like that, and then you'll see in parentheses whatever number per level, and that's how much it goes up per level. So essentially just lasts longer.
Okay.
All right. What was that conclusion page again? Was that something we needed to touch on, or no? I want to ask a question about this warding here in a second, but I want to make sure we're done with the conclusion.
No, it just says warding's important. Please ward.
Basically it says whether you're new or whether you're experienced, understanding where and when to place wards is significant.
And 100% it is. I totally agree with that. But the problem with warding is also paying attention to your minimap.
Right.
Now, obviously, we can sit here and tell people, hey, you got to pay attention to minimap. But just by telling somebody they have to do it doesn't mean they're going to do it. What are some tips and tricks for you experienced players? Because I'm still bad at myself. I'm better at it than what I was when I played Paragon. But like, what are some tips and tricks to get you to like, hey, think minimap? Because I know the most experienced players, they look at the minimap more than they actually play in the game. You know, right. It's like, I don't know how you're doing that. Like I'm sitting here trying to watch the fight I'm in, you know, but you're like, watch the minimap the whole time. So like, what are the tips and tricks to get people to like start training their eye to go to the minimap instead?
One major trick is what's fantastic is there's already a thing in the game that helps you focus in the game for your minimap. It pings whenever somebody goes over your board. Right, so that's a auditorial cue, so you could hear it, right? That's one thing to be like, okay, what the hell just happened? I heard a ping. I might not have been looking at my map at the time, but I saw a ping, and you should see an actual little exclamation mark go by which ward saw whatever they did, right? So you'd be like, okay, I don't know who's coming, but I saw exclamation mark and I heard a ping at this ward, so I should be careful of this area of the map. Another thing is, it's probably the most hard thing, or like the hardest person to do this is the carry, because they're so worried about CS, right, in farm and in offlane as well. But just every like minion or so, you're kind of just taking a little quick peek at the map, right? You're just like, okay, I got my CS. This enemy wave or my wave shouldn't clear this minion that fast to where I can't really quickly look up and do that. Another phase where I like to look at the map is when I clear a wave. So I clear a wave, I know I don't have anything to worry about. I have the time now to make an educated decision. Like, if I'm not engaging into a fight right now, let me take a quick look at the map. Can I even engage in this fight? Is this even smart to engage in this fight? Or should I rotate somewhere else? Like, are we doing an objective? And that is like a big cue of like when I should look at the map. I roughly do roughly around like 2 to 3 seconds every time I'm playing. You can even see it on stream. I'm like constantly just looking over to my right, just trying to look at the mini map, and it just gives you so much more information because the game is primarily played throughout the mini map. A lot of people think it's just like looking at your screen, but most of your information comes from the mini map and comes from the words that you place.
Yeah, as a jungler, for all my junglers out there, if you're farming camps, you don't have to last hit. So you should literally be looking at your mini map pretty much the entire time you're just sitting there farming, and then also turning your camera to being like, oh, something's happening. I'm turning my camera, looking through the wall to really get as much information as possible. Because in this game, it's not like League where you can just take your camera over and go literally look at what they're doing.
Look at bot lane, yeah.
It's all you have as jungler in this game.
Bro, that's a good point. Between support and jungle, those two are the roles that like live staring at the minimap. Unless there's some shit popping off.
That's what got me better was me playing support with Fault. I started looking at the minimap a lot more because I'm already playing support. I'm trying to at least get better call outs for the team and stuff.
Yeah, so stare at your minimap a little bit more. Place those wards down so it can help you understand what's going on in the minimap. Because if you don't have any wards, it's kind of essentially you're staring at a blank minimap unless you see something, right? And you're playing reactive at that point, and you don't want to be a reactive player, right?
Yep. And those ward timers, for anybody who wants to know, place an invisible ward for 84 seconds, and it's +2 per level at your target location. So every level you get, you're adding 2 seconds onto it. So that's where it goes.
Interesting. Okay. So level 15, you just added another 30 seconds. Spice.
Correct.
Spice. Yo, 30 seconds is a lot, bro.
Math from Windu. That's pretty
quick
good.
math. 2 + 2 is 3.
Look at you.
Yeah, so I think that's just something that a lot of players don't take into consideration. And it's a simple thing, right? It's not something that you're like, this has nothing to do with abilities, it has nothing to do with heroes. This is all about just understanding information that's going on in the game.
Yeah, I'll be real. I think I've only ever noticed the length of a ward in like the first 3 minutes as to when exactly to drop it, so I know when the rotation's coming, I still got a ward there. You get what I'm saying? After that point, bro, don't even ask me, how long does your ward last? Hey, that shit's there, ain't it? You're welcome. Like, I'm a carry main. You're lucky you got a ward for me, okay? I'm trying to last it.
I do have the timers as a support main of like when you want to ward certain things for each level, but we won't go into that today. But
different day.
Question on a good tip for when you drop your first ward early game. Like, what's the time, especially for duo lane, the ideal time of when to drop that?
So the person you want to actually drop the early game ward is your support. Yeah. And you want them to, like, for instance, if you're on the red enemy jungler's red side, you want to get a aggressive ward. You're trying to place a ward to know where the jungler's at, not necessarily for vision of everything else going on in the map, right? And
like on their 5 camp.
Right, on their 5 camp, like right? The entry of 5 camp, right?
You actually you can just place it over the wall. So like,
it's like right on the camp itself, so you know he's chilling in the camp and when he leaves it.
Right. So all you're doing, because essentially if it goes correctly, your mid laner should be placing a ward by his 2 camp. So by that theory, you understand if the jungler is taking the 5 camp path or if he's going to the 2 camp path. Right. So like if he pops up on the 5 camp, he clears it and you don't see him back by the 2 camp within like 10 or 5 to 10 seconds, he's looking for a gank or he's coming through these stairs and coming to go for the river gank.
And you can time it too. So imagine you put the ward at the 5 camp and he just, like, based off time, it's like 2 minutes, right? He just finished red and he's on that 5 camp. There's no way he did all 3. So right. I know if he finishes his rotation, he's going to hit level 3 by mid lane. That's probably a mid lane gank. He's going to go for that river buff, I
think it's 2 minutes and like 40 seconds something is like the average clear time for the entire jungler to clear his red side. So if by like 2:10 or 2:20, 2:25, you don't see him back by that ward, you already know he's over on your right side or invading your blue side. So he's doing a vertical jungle.
Yeah, bro, I'll tell you what. I absolutely love, like, so how the minions will technically show up to lane like right at 125, 130 as far as time goes. So
126 in the offlane, 125 in the mid, or 125 in the duo, 124 in the mid.
I did not know those were different numbers. Anyway,
yeah.
Thank you. But so basically what I do is right about like 115, like right before the wave gets there, I will drop because it's not always that I got a support that I can communicate with and go ward this, etc. So let's say I solo queue and there's no wards on the map, I'm going to drop a ward on the river stairs, a little bit more on the aggressive side, but on the stairs themselves. So it's like a mid zone, like a very neutral ward. And I'll place it right at 115 because I know by the time he finishes that third camp is going to be around that 245 area. So I know this gank is coming. My ward is still going to be there as the gank comes, right? And by the time the ward runs out, if the ward ran out and he didn't come my way, there's a small chance that he's going to actually gank me. He probably already ganked mid and went into his blue by that point. So like that 115 mark, 120 mark is like that sweet spot to kind of drop it, get to lane. Let's hit that. Let's get those last hits going.
Yeah. And if your offlane is warding just as good as you are, you see him on the opposite side of the map, roughly around, I think it's 4 minutes. You see him on his 3 camps. If he's clearing his entire jungle.
Like he said, the moment you know where that jungle's at, you know you can be aggressive. You know you can force the fight. You know it's like, hey man, was Chimera on that side of the map? Like, bro, I'll type it in the chat real quick. Hey, yo, was Kai over on right side? No. Yep. Well, shit, I'm about to get ganked. Let me back the fuck up. Hold on.
Yeah.
Or if you know where the jungler is, you're like, hey, let's go steal some of his camps. He's on the right side or whatever.
If you're ahead enough, yeah. There, and it's wild that we say all these things too, and it almost sounds like secondhand nature, right? Like, of course we do this. Everybody does this. By all means, right? Like, who doesn't do this? You don't know this? Come on, bro. But I'll tell you what.
Who does this?
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Florida education. Anyway, but yeah, so it's to the point that too often will you see somebody just either not ward or like, what is that? I got a homie, Huddy. He will literally be yelling the entire match. He's like, guys, where are your wards? Like, bro, why is there only one ward on the map? There's 5 of us. That's 10 wards. Why is there only one? Like, come on, guys. And then out of nowhere, somebody ganked. It's like, oh, I wish there was a ward. Like, just constantly on it. So shout out to Huddy. But yeah, man, it's something that's super easy to forget. You get overwhelmed in certain situations, and it's a nice little reminder. So having a little tidbit like this, I think, is just spicy enough without going too deep into it to kind of give a little bit, tips and tricks, a little bit of a reminder. If you guys want to learn more, go follow Efsixx on his Kick/Twitch channel and catch him there. Ask him as many questions as you want. And he's a Florida man, so take it easy on him. He will throw Gator at you. But
not the Gator, dude.
Not the Gator. But yeah, if you guys do like little tips and tricks like these, please let us know wherever you're watching, whether it be live on Kick or after the fact on YouTube, if we should do more of these different subjects. Just kind of tackle a little segment every single week and see where we go from there. Is there anything you guys want to? Yes.
No, and I think it's great. And what Gus even says, teach people how to set lanes properly and not just push them. Ironically, that kind of was our next subject anyways. Good guess there, Gus.
We definitely did talk about that.
Right?
But yeah.
And that should be a fun one if we do it.
Yeah, we'll keep working on it, and check out the different methods of doing it. Maybe throw little video clips in there and such to kind of, illustrate certain examples. But was there anything specific that you guys wanted to talk about that we might have missed? Any other subjects or anything like that?
Real quick, because we didn't get a chance, because we jumped right into it because Joey was leaving. No offense to Joey, but we didn't really get a chance to get to know a little bit more about Indo here. So Indo, you said you're an OG Paragon gamer. Right. So Medkit's favorite question, who is your favorite hero to play as, and who is your least favorite player to go against? Or hero, not player.
Oh, again. So my favorite, I was jungle main, pretty high API rank, Rampage, just because he was so strong and old Paragon. I mean, he's kind of the character that I would begrudgingly play because he was just so good. Like, but I always liked Chimera a lot, Kalari, pretty much either assassins or tanks was usually my go-to. I loved old Paragon, dude. Remember the rock with Rampage? You could,
yes, bro, so the arch.
You could just chuck it like over 2 lanes and just hit someone. Like, oh, it was so good. But as far as Yeah, the true Kobe's. They balance it a lot better, even though it's frustrating. Yeah, a little sad, but yeah, most annoying to play. I mean, Gideon was always a character that was hit or miss. I love Iggy deep down in my heart, but he could make the meta pretty stale.
Why?
You know, he was such a fun character in design, but like I preferred Iggy in the like burstier, I think in Monolith when they came out with him, and he did more damage, but he was squishier. The tank Iggy, even though he was, I think, just like you, Windu, he's my first mastery character.
Let's go.
He was my first.
Tank Iggy was AIDS though. I'm not gonna lie. Tank Iggy was AIDS.
In the game, Tank Iggy, even though he was so toxic, he was fun at the time. But yeah, I mean, it's probably one of the most, I would say, more annoying characters to go against. I'm trying to. Oh, actually, no. I take it back. Aurora on release, dude. Aurora on release, bro.
Yeah.
That shit broke
busted.
the game, dude.
Yeah, she was nuts.
Shit. Yeah, probably
All right.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how long were you playing it? Because like for me, I was playing just before 42. I didn't play any Legacy. How long did you play Paragon?
So I played. I started the game on my PlayStation the day Sevarog dropped. So their first like release.
I was about to say that's Legacy.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah, Legacy.
That's early Legacy.
The travel mode shit, man. When you play Sparrow and Chimera would run out of the jungle and land on you and root you.
Which one came out first, Chimera or Narbash? Chimera, right?
I believe Chimera was pretty early.
Yeah, I started playing when Chimera got released.
Yeah, he was pretty early in there.
You remember Quang on Legacy, Indo?
Quang on Legacy. Oh yeah, because you could root people with your sword and then you ulti combo in.
Bro, when Quang got released on Legacy, in the old item system, because he was towards the end of it, right? Bro,
Yeah.
Quang was nuts. You could actually get away with like attack speed Quang and shit like that.
That's right.
Like, bro,
Yeah,
those
man.
days were nuts.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I followed Paragon the whole time. I loved it. I mean, the item, my biggest gripe with the original game was that just I felt like the item system, the gameplay was always good in any of the iterations, but it was like the itemization was little unbalanced, if you want to say the least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the games. You know, I'm an old school Mangoose follower. That's actually how I found you guys. I've, you know, watched him since basically he started making content. So then I kind of found your guys' channel, and you know, I've been creeping, messaging you guys, and yeah, and thank you so much, Bearded, for having me on here and finally getting to meet you guys face to face. Really appreciate it.
Not a problem. We're happy to have you. So when did you get into Pred? Did you get into Pred right when early access dropped, or did you come in late, or how'd that happen?
I was right when early access dropped. I was following Mango. I was following For the Minions for a long time. So I've tried all the Parazombies. I played Fault for a bit. I kind of avoided Fault a little bit because I really wanted to wait for like a solid remake, because I didn't really want to tarnish my like memories, I guess, of Paragon. But then I started just getting so like, I was just like, I want to play. So I
gotta play something,
Fault.
right?
Yeah. So I played Fault for a while. Played a little OP, but really, you know, and I played the original OP beta, and I played the Pred beta, and out of all the betas, the Pred beta just felt, as far as gameplay, the closest, as far as, you know, just polish and stuff like that. And I really liked how they went towards like the league items in Pred. So I kind of fell in love with Pred, you know, out of all of them. I've tried OP several times. It's just a little bit not polished, I guess. I love their skins. I love the flashiness. You know, I like a lot of things about it, but it just, the input doesn't feel as good as it does
to like the core gameplay, I would say.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm really liking Pred, and admittedly I did fall off for a while because I feel like there just wasn't a lot of heroes. So I played really hard when the game first released, and then I kind of just like played other games for a little bit because I was just like, there's not a lot of heroes. and I think at that time Omeda wasn't really communicating the same way as they were with the community. And honestly, the videos that you guys have had where like Robbie came on and a lot of these devs, like it's just been pumping me up. That's like why I started this YouTube channel. And I'm just like really feeling the passion of this, because I'm just like seeing how passionate the devs are. And I'm like, okay, I'm actually really starting to believe in this as like a product and everything. So I'm just getting so hyped. It's like, so thank you guys for, stoking the fire, I guess.
That's what I told Windu when we passed the beard. Yeah, that's just what I do. No, that's just like what me and Windu, we've been doing this. Windu pulled me aside when we were fault partners, and he said, let's do it, let's be honest. I'm like, all about it. And me and him, we had this just chemistry with each other, because he was more of the negative side, I was more of the positive side at that point.
Like, whoa.
No, but I mean, I'm not wrong. I mean, go back and watch it. Let's be honest.
Oh no, yeah, I stay salty, bro. I stay salty.
Right. So and go back and watch it. You'll see that I was more of that, white knight, situation, and it is what it is. And then you can watch the fault partner panels, and you'll see there's a switch. Like, I became more of that negative side. When you became more of that, hey, like, well, hold on, there's still this positive, and me and him just have this chemistry together. And so we had it planned that we were going to do this for all 3 games, right? And then Fault fell off, obviously. And then we just fell off of PTO. We just couldn't, we don't enjoy the game anywhere close to what we do enjoy Pred. So we got here with Pred, and it's like our goal with all of these shows, our goal was to have a platform for the community to come in and let the devs know how they feel about it, but also a platform for the devs to come out and just voice, bring a face to the devs for the community to see. And that was our goal. And so far we're able to succeed with it. I'm very happy with where it's going. And I'm happy that somebody like you can come on here and say that, hey, you guys inspired me to start doing this because you stoked those flames. Like, that's awesome. That's great to hear. Because that's really essentially my goal with doing this stuff. I want to be able to get people energized, but also give them a platform. If they're not happy with something, here's a platform for you to come on and say, hey, this needs to get fixed or whatever. That's why the TB alt conversation we had. I watched a bunch of people complain about TB alt. It's all right. Well, let's bring it up. Is it TB alt or is it items? So, let's actually bring that here, because we know, and they've came on and said they watched it, but we know that the devs are watching this and paying attention and hearing what we're saying. So let's keep using this platform for those situations.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I remember when you guys first started out, I think I was on like episode like 4 or 5. I was like, these guys are definitely going to be doing it. And I was like, this is a great idea. But you guys have been doing a great job the entire time, and I'm not gonna lie, hands down to you guys.
I say, bro, what do you mean you guys? You're part of that shit. You just did a little lesson.
Oh, no, I am.
Hashtag make him a partner.
You guys gave me the opportunity to just nerd out, and I already tried to thank you guys enough. I probably could keep thanking you guys, but I get to nerd out like for like 10-15 minutes, just do my nerdy stuff that I do with Bearded in the off time. So
yeah, man,
it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna keep growing. We're gonna keep getting better.
Yeah, dude, I'm really loving the Pred. I had 2 weekends ago, I had a flashback moment where I had a LAN party. And me and the boys, I play a lot with my IRL friends.
You did a LAN party, bro?
Yeah, dude.
We're not gonna glide by that. A LAN party? What the fuck?
In like 2016,
he said, "Everybody, bring your Xboxes, bring your PlayStations. Everybody got a TV. He's playing on a toaster, but he's okay. We'll make it."
Exactly, dude.
Not the toaster.
Whatever, last weekend, and I was like, dude, I literally just teleported back to like college time where we'd all get home, fucking get the PlayStations, all playing Paragon. I was like, dude, this is fucking what I missed, man. Like, I can't believe like this game was gone. I tried Smite, I tried a lot of other things, but like it just wasn't the same for me. It didn't scratch the itch that Paragon really, had. So,
right.
Thank you to Omeda.
The last LAN party I had was 2011. My brother's bachelor party, because he doesn't drink or any of that stuff. So he's like, hey, I just want to have a LAN party. So we got all the friends together. We literally had Ethernet cords running everywhere, connecting PlayStations.
Bro, what PCs, a gamer bachelor party, bro. Dude, what the hell?
It was awesome.
That's sick, bro. That's so fun. Love it.
So, that's the last one I had. But All right, we are way over our time, but it was a great episode and a lot of stuff to go over. But so let's make sure we end it out here. We'll close it out the same way we introed Indo, Efsixx, myself, and Windu, sorry. And then yeah, right. And I'm excited for next week, guys. I can't tell you how much. But it's gonna be great. So let's go with those outros. Indo, let them know where they can find you. And anything you got going on, let them know. If you literally had just put out a YouTube, tell them about it. Let them, give them that information. Like I know you have the YouTube channel, but a YouTube video or whatever. Let them know about it. Let's go.
Yeah, so my name's Indo Complex on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. I'm primarily making like hero guides and kind of like gameplay guides out on YouTube. So just check me out, Indo Complex. And I'm streaming usually Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends. And I'm just kind of trying to make overall guides and stuff for beginners and people trying to play new characters. And just here for the community.
All right, what's your most recent video?
So I just made a Grux offlane guide. So you guys, if you want to check that out, I go through like tips and tricks and a little basic build inspired by Joey. He actually helped me add a few little tweaks to my build. Yeah.
Do you have a Twitter?
No, I don't have a Twitter. I'm just doing
start getting a Twitter. Start getting a Twitter because you can start posting. You'll be able to just post your videos there. I see you're doing a great job at posting them in the Discords. You got them in our Discord. You got them FGM's Discord. I see those. Those are great. But also use a Twitter. Use the hashtag Predecessor, hashtag whatever, and put them on Twitter.
Twitter's big for sharing.
Following that way is start growing your following there as well. Now don't just post your videos. Don't just be like, hey, just as an advertisement. You do other posts as well. But just kind of I don't know. Like I was at South Dakota. I was posting that I was getting the food that I was eating because that shit was fucking fire.
You went to great. One restaurant the entire time.
It was that good. He
kept going back, bro. I saw that too.
It was that good. That was my point. I was trying to get that across. And plus the bartender knew sports because I was talking sports the whole time. Like once the guy knew sports, he started talking sports with me. He pretty much could have proposed to me. I would have said yes. So it was that.
He said that's South Dakota vibe. Got him. Oh no, poor guy.
It was just that one place. Everywhere else, I'm like, no.
Yeah. Bro, the moment he said he was in South Dakota, I was like, what do they have there? Bowling alleys? Like,
I was stationed in South Dakota, and they don't have a lot. But Papa's is a good place.
So you've been there?
I was stationed there for 4 years, bro.
All right, I didn't know that. I just found out just right now that you've been there. I don't know. It's fucking good.
It's a great time.
Popeyes is fire, dude.
No, not Popeyes. It's Papa Woody's.
Papa what?
Papa Woody's.
Papa Woody's.
Papa Woody's. Okay.
Hashtag sponsor us.
Check it out.
Hashtag sponsors.
We'll get a South Dakota restaurant to sponsor.
No,
that'd be great.
I better get some coupons out of this shit.
No, but great food. Get a Twitter going there, Indo, and that'll be huge. Possibly even tap into Threads. Threads hasn't been popping off yet that I've been seeing. But something like that, just for your networking purposes and you trying to grow your platforms. Doesn't matter if we're talking about Twitch, we're talking about YouTube, talking about whatever we're talking about. You want to grow those platforms. You want to become a better streamer. You want to become a better content creator. You definitely get a Twitter and start doing that. All right.
A lot of leaks happen on Twitter too, bro. Like it's one thing following the Predecessor account, but when you follow like the CEO, when you follow SergantSmokie, like they'll post individually some shit that isn't official Predecessor stuff. But out of nowhere, like, I don't know, what's a good example? Like RGSA, so out of nowhere, just be like, I can't wait till y'all see.
Marketing manager.
Or
supposed to hire a marketing manager.
Like, or he'll randomly be like, I can't wait till y'all see what's coming tomorrow. And be like, the fuck's coming tomorrow, bro?
Tomorrow's a Wednesday. What do you mean?
Wait, hold on. Hey, did y'all know about this? Let me send this shit out to people. Hold on. And then you retweet it, give your opinion. It's a pretty good platform, even though I'm pretty sure now it's called like x.com, right?
X,
not Twitter.
I don't know.
Anyway,
it's about my pay grade.
Speaking of your pay grade, go ahead. It's your turn.
Got you. So my name is Efsixx. You can follow me over at Twitch, Kick, and YouTube at Efsixx. I have a Twitter. I'm not like Indo just yet. Notifications turned off. Reviews. notification turns off. I do have my notifications turned off. I'm an old head when it comes to it, but you can find me over there. I do hero reviews, and I don't know if you guys want, I'll go into my like 30-40 minute dives into like what we go on Predcast if you guys like want a deeper dive into it. But let me know on Windu's YouTube videos if you guys want that. I'm more than welcome to like talk about nerdy stuff. But for the most part, just hero reviews. This Saturday, Crunch reviews coming out. If you're a Crunch player, we're gonna be talking about them. But yeah, other than that, you catch me at the PCC as well. I do casting over there. It's gonna be a fun time. I have a different voice than I do now. It's a little bit more intense, but it should be a fun time.
All right. You occasionally are doing VOD reviews too, right? When you're doing live on stream, you'll do a VOD review occasionally, or no? Are you not doing those? I just see sometimes that's what your title says. So I want to make sure.
Yeah. So if you guys ever want me to like review your games, just come over to my Twitch or my Kick and be like, hey, can you review my game? I am more than likely to do it. There's nothing really for me to grind for yet. I do love the gameplay of Predecessor. There's nothing for me to grind. So I rather just do VOD reviews and like help the player base out understand the game at like a higher level. So if you guys just stop by, send me your code, and I'm like, okay, sure, let's do a VOD review. Doesn't matter what role, what lane. I think I have something to offer you guys to help you guys get better at the game. I'm not 100% right. I want to say that right now. I'm not 100% correct on everything I do, or somebody might have a better path. But 90% of the time, I'll definitely get you to where you need to be a better caliber player.
I just shout out to you because you gave me a VOD review just before the last Predcast, and then we went into a little further after that Predcast, and you helped me out with understanding, the wave clear and what I'm doing and what my mindset, what I was doing. I actually took that to I took that information. All right, I used it, and I went. I set my wave, and I went and roamed. And I was able to take a tier 2 tower and an inhib, all because that one wave just kept pushing.
Snowball,
right? We were able to do.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yep.
I told you, man. It's wild when you just set your wave and just let it just do its thing, because most people forget about it.
So I'm saying your VOD reviews definitely works. Appreciate it. So I mean, now when I start doing my shout outs with Joey and Zygor helping me out, I'm definitely gonna put Efsixx in there too, because everything, every little piece of information I'm able to get and help me grow as the player that I am, because I know I'm not perfect, but I do want to get better. I want to be able to actually play with Windu and not him have to put his alt account on, feel bad to play with me. So one day I'll get good enough, but when that happens, I just need more VOD reviews to help me in the point that direction. So, but I do appreciate it.
Anytime, man. I'm always here. I like to nerd out. So,
all right. As for myself, BeardedWolverine, you'll find me on Kick. BeardedWolverine streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, unless I'm gone for work and I'm eating at Papa Woody's, because that was the good fucking shit. You'll see all that stuff on Twitter. Check that stuff out. It was actually really good food. I'm telling you, if you're ever in South Dakota area, Sioux Falls area, that shit was fucking great. I don't know if there are any other places in South Dakota. I just know that's where it was at, and I got stopped there for lunch, and it was so good it made me go back for dinner. And then I had breakfast at another place. I'm like, nope, I'm going back to this other place for dinner. So I went back there 3 times.
He said I'm not risking it.
Yeah, not really. No, there's no point. I can talk sports with a bartender and get good food. Let's go. But I'll get back onto it. My YouTube and TikTok, I'm going to get back into that. Going on, posting those videos, the little short videos there. I'm going to keep doing that. But other than that, my biggest thing to say right now is next week we got SergantSmokie coming on. We're going to talk Zarus, because we all been have a chance to play Zarus at that point, because it's going to be Wednesday, the day after the patch. So we're going to be talking about, we'll be able to recap Windows and I customs. That's the thing to talk about real quick. I forgot that's coming up next week. Next Tuesday, Windu and I are going to have customs going on. Hopefully we get Efsixx and maybe even Joey joining it on that one.
Write it up. Yeah.
Yep. So let's get those going. We're gonna do customs. The whole point, we just come join. Like literally, the more people we get, the more games we can get going. That's the biggest thing, right? We start off when we get our 10. Once we get our 10, will people join up. And depending the matchup on how it is, like with TwinBlast, we just play like a normal match. But like when we had Greystone was announced, me and Windu went like a 1v1, and then nobody's allowed to gank until the first tower goes down. And that's just to kind of like, hey, let's just kind
of the first match of the day, just to kick it off with a little competitiveness.
So this one, that's the way it's going to be. Me and Windu, we're going to be 1v1. Zarus in the offlane. Nobody ganks until T1 goes down. Once a T1 goes down,
fair game.
Normal MOBA. But just a little fun thing we do, and just a little something, me and him to kind of go back and forth, have a little fun thing, a little fun 1v1.
Yeah, it's a nice little showdown, especially with characters like this, because I fucking hate the offlane, and he's now becoming an offlane main, right? So it's like, all right, well, you know what? I might miss some shit, but I'll fucking scrap to the death, bro. Y'all know you did not just fucking hit me. Shit, get back here. So this is gonna be a spicy,
fun.
It's spicy character.
Offlane with my team, no worries, and then
there we go.
Battle out.
There we go. So we got that going on. But other than that, then that next Wednesday, this next Predcast with SergantSmokie, it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be great. And speaking of that, we do want to get Efsixx little segments in here. That one we might not have one next week, just because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on with SergantSmokie. So we'll keep working on that. Yeah, we got a lot of questions. We're hopefully going to get a lot of answers. So, but other than that, I'm sorry I've been rambling on here. I feel bad. Appreciate you all hanging out and everybody watching on YouTube. I do appreciate the support. I always do my best to comment or at least like or do something with the comment that you guys leave. So we appreciate all the support. Keep doing that, and I will keep interacting the best I can. On to you, Windu.
True. And I just want to go ahead and throw out there big shout out to the devs for all the support that they've shown Predcast, all the love that they've thrown our 100%. Way. Shout out to all the homies that have helped us get to the spot where we are right now, right? Like, of course, there's still a lot of room to grow. But Indo brought up Mangoose. Shout out to Mangoose, one of the OG homies. He was a big part of helping us get to where we are right now and developing as creators and whatnot, right? And of course, all the other Predcast members that have been here before but have had to step away for reason A or reason B. Medkit, Crashy, J Pie, etc. Right? And I'll be real, guys. As far as my personal things, just do me a favor, subscribe on YouTube. Totally free to subscribe. I know, especially if you're a Twitch person, when you hear the word subscribe, you're like, nah, I'm not paying, bro. Chill out. But yeah, totally free to subscribe. Yep. So it's same thing as a follow. Totally free to subscribe on YouTube. That's where we post all the Predcast videos. I'll post gameplay videos here and there whenever I have spicy builds that I want to kind of throw out there and share with you guys. But yeah, it's full-time on YouTube. All the videos are very high quality. As far as gameplay videos goes, those are all 4K 60 frames, as high quality as possible, ramping up, getting ready for the console viewers to be able to watch in 4K. But yeah, there's been a lot of work that's happened behind the scenes as far as Predcast goes, and as far as, like, organization, structure, communication, and etc., just to be able to refine a little bit for everybody. So just big shout out to all the individuals behind the scenes that might not get their limelight, but they're still a crucial part of everything that goes through. So shout out to those people. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next episode. We appreciate all the love. Peace.
Bye.
You gotta end it like that, bro. Bye.
Bye.